Alrighty, we're live.
Yo, yo, yo. We have a great show. Hope everyone's excited. Uh, it's
Yeah,
going to be a
should be
fun
good.
time. Yeah, it's going to be fun. And, let's get into it. Oh, yeah.
You good?
Oh,
Oh, a lot of static. You moving your mic or something?
yeah. I'm putting something on because it's kind of cold in here. So I'm
Oh,
just
okay.
putting something warmer on. Oh, yeah.
Yo, what's up, Spirit Paradox? How's it going?
Spirit, the main man, is here.
Yep.
The main man himself, Mr. Spirit of Paradox.
OC, what's up?
To the ladies, he's known as Spirit of Paradise.
Spirit Paradox.
Octo Commander, what's up? The Prime, my
The
guy.
Prime,
No
what's up?
name.
No name.
The based
What's up,
man
guys?
himself.
Yep. I think all the people here are base
I think
so
he
far.
he No name has embraced the UK. He's like he called us lads. That's how you know. He's not even trying to hide it anymore. Not that he ever was.
That guy Biz. What's the next big woke thing?
I
Uh,
don't. I mean,
I mean, maybe you'll find out today,
yeah.
since certain things we'll be talking about, like Dragon Age, Call of Duty. What else we talking about? Prince of Persia. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. Then the last topic would be, something fun and relaxing.
I always
Name
embrace my colonial roots, as you should. Embrace that shit. Y'all won battles. Y'all conquered lands. It's
David
not your fault. It's not
Francisco.
your fault. You know, UK it was too OP,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
and they
you're right.
and they didn't nerf it in time.
David Francisco, what's up? Reject. Uh, let's say, Cape shit. What is that?
Cape shit is
Uh,
like superhero. You know,
oh,
like
okay, okay. All right, okay.
you know,
I
like
gotta get on the ball with these terminologies.
oversaturated superhero nonsense.
Right,
That's
right,
kind
right.
of what I interpret cape shit as.
Okay, so we'll assume it's that.
That's what I'm
Cape
gonna assume
shit.
it is.
Embrace Pulp Fiction. Yeah, Pulp Fiction
Yeah,
is
yeah,
really
exactly,
good.
exactly. Well,
Really good.
like some cape shit is good. Unfortunately, a majority of it is bad.
I guess some of the
But
old Cape shit,
yeah, because like ultimately, like,
like over a decade ago.
well, yeah, because like, for example, like I like Captain America: Winter Soldier. I thought that movie was decent, but then like most of it is ass. So what can you really say? Like movies aren't made with the same heart.
Mm-hmm. Yo,
People
what's
shit
up,
on
Apollo Patriot? I'm not buying the new COD because of SBMM. What is that?
SPM.
SBMM?
I don't know what that is. I don't play enough Call of Duty really. I stopped playing Call of Duty a while back, honestly.
Yeah, I don't. I don't see the appeal in it now. I mean, I haven't seen the
Venom Snacks
opponent
video on
for a
the
long
MCU
time.
was great. I'm sure it was. I mean,
Yeah,
because
no, actually, it
the
was.
MCU.
That was. I saw it. It was
I
very
haven't
good.
seen it myself. I'll check it out. The MCU
Yeah,
is
he actually got
it's fun.
to 1K subscribers. So
Oh,
congrats to him on
congratulations,
that.
bro.
Yeah. So.
Congratulations. Oh, skill based matchmaking. Okay, that makes sense.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
All right.
That's important. If you don't balance that properly, then you're screwed.
Yo, what's up, Neozoic? How's it going?
Neozoic. Yeah, the MCU has fallen apart, man. Like fell apart a long time ago, but I think that we can honestly all say Endgame is the end of the MCU. And even before Endgame came out, there were quite a few flops.
Yeah. So it's been pretty bad for a
Which
while.
video game franchise is scarier, Resident Evil or Silent Hill? I would say Silent Hill, but
Yeah,
but I but I will say it depends on which Resident Evils you do play, because I feel like
I would say up until 4. 4 is when it
yeah,
stopped being, like, scary. To me, it's not even really a good horror game or even a
it's
good
not
Resident Evil game.
it's not
It
in my
feels like a
opinion too.
side game, and, you know,
Yeah.
to me, that's when the series kinda went downhill as far as, like, going in a different direction entirely.
And that's not to
So
say the game is not fun. Resident Evil 4 is a fun game, but
yeah, it
as
can be
far as
fun.
as far as being like it's fun, it's a fun game. But and I like the game, but as far as being horror and whatnot, like it just declined from there. Like I'm
Yeah,
telling you, the second that I realized I could like roundhouse kick zombies and stuff, like every all the tension they built up in the early part of 4 was completely removed the second
yeah.
that roundhouse kicked the zombie. And I'm not
Collecting
saying that's a
gold bars, finding
yeah golden
the
bar. Like
merchant,
I'm not
flipping
even being
through windows.
I'm not even being hyperbolic here. I'm being like entirely serious that like when I first played that game, the second I started like mailing zombies, I was like, oh shit, this is I was like, oh, this is fun. I just wanted to kick everybody. So instead of
Yeah,
worrying and being scared of the enemies, I was like, what other moves can he do? You know?
yeah, right. Yeah,
And then once I learned you could suplex them, oh
yeah.
boy, oh boy. But
Suplex
yeah,
City.
but I also think that the older Resident Evils are scarier. So I think if you're a kid, let's say you were like I'm going back to when I was a kid. I feel like the older
Like
Resident
kid or
Evils.
preteen.
Well, I'm gonna go with kid because
Okay.
I feel like the Resident Evil games, the early ones, were scarier because of the fixed cameras and just the tension and like the format of the game made it scarier. It wasn't as psychological, but I feel like the atmosphere made it really scary compared to Silent Hill. When I first played
Mm.
Silent Hill, not even well, I was a little older when I first played Silent Hill, but even then, I feel like the psychological horror gets scarier as you get older. So I think at
Yeah.
different stages of your life, they both have different levels of fear. So
Mm.
old Resident Evil, I think is scarier if you're a kid, but I think that if you're an adult or like you're like older, I think Silent Hill is scarier
Yeah. I think that's fair to say.
because
Spirit Paradox said that he's
you're more
playing.
susceptible to the psychological horror.
Yeah. Spirit Paradox said he's playing Starship Troopers and ACU. ACU. What am I saying? AC2. Yeah, good games. I mean, I
I
didn't play
like that too.
Starship
No name.
Troopers yet, but AC2 is good.
Like I like Chris's haymaker punch into a crowd of. I'm a Chris Redfield fanboy, and I vouch for that.
Yeah, no name. Silent Hill 1 to 4. Yeah, especially 4 gets a lot of slack. I don't know why. I mean, yeah, it's not like the previous three, but it's still pretty good. So, but
That guy Biz says, I don't know if it's Biz. I think it might be Biz. If it is Biz, whatever. But which sauce would you like to dip on your food? Minuscule woke, mild woke, or full woke? Zero woke,
yeah,
no woke. I'll just order something else from some. I'll just order food without any wokeness in it.
yeah. Where we at?
I agree. Chris with the less inventory space in the original game, yeah, definitely a rite of
Mm-hmm.
passage. And I think that I just think that game is scarier when you're younger because there's not a lot of psychological effect of like I'm in a scary hallway. Please don't eat me, zombies. I think even at a base level, a kid will be susceptible to that. I think like Silent Hill, you might be creeped out by the monsters, but I feel like it's scarier when you understand what's going on. But yeah, but overall, like as an adult, Silent Hill is scarier.
Yeah. New Zoic wrote. He asked, Remnant Engine. Damn, what the hell's with your mic? You moving
What
something?
happened? Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you. Just I don't know if you're moving your mic or something or the wire for it or whatever.
It might have been the wire. I moved the wire slightly.
Okay, because it's making some crazy noise.
Okay, my
But you're
bad.
good now.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Okay. Yeah, it was just because I
Remnant Engine.
shifted.
Yeah, that's I figured. Remnant Engine Pachi. Fun question. Which video game enemies is scarier? Uh, Blood. What from Halo series or Necromorphs from Dead Space series?
Oh, necromorphs.
Uh,
He might be thinking
yeah,
of the flood. The flood, maybe. But
that's what I thought.
yeah. I think that the
I would say
necromorphs are scarier.
Necromorphs. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean the flood is creepy. They are creepy, but I think that like with the necromorphs, like they're pretty disturbing. And like I find that lore, even though the games have become more actiony, I found the lore to become more disturbing with each series. I mean, with each passing
Hmm.
game, because like once they introduced the concept of like what's really going on with the brother moons and stuff, I was like, this is like really good, like Lovecraftian horror, and like it's kind of a shame what happened to that series. But I would say the necromorphs are way scarier.
Yeah. Hataru. Am I saying that right? Hataru.
Hotaru. Hotaru.
Okay, Hataru. What's up?
Bakayaru. Melina, what's up? How's it going?
Yeah, what's up, Melina Chan? How's it going? The Prime asked question with Konami not censoring Eva or messing up her face and fixing the boss. Do you think MGS3 remake could actually turn out decent? Regardless, I'm still skeptical after SH2 remake.
I'm highly
Yeah,
skeptical.
I'm
I'm not
skeptical as
giving
well.
them
I mean,
any benefit of the doubt, and I have to actually see somebody talk about the game in depth before I would even consider buying it. And
and
I
who is
think that
actually would be like more of an honest source.
even though Eva doesn't look that bad, I still think she could have been prettier, especially because her character is meant to be pretty, you know.
Hmm.
So I think that she
Yeah.
should be a little prettier, but it isn't that bad. But it also I don't know. She looks a little bizarre to me in that game. And also what they did to the boss. Like I granted the boss was never meant to be particularly pretty, but she really does remind me of like Jay from
Mhm.
Jason Mewes from Jay and Silent Bob, and I feel like that just shouldn't be a thing.
Hataro asks, still waiting for he didn't I'm sorry, he didn't ask, he just said this comment. Still waiting for a Capcom to make their move and turn one of the main cast in RE gay. I'm sure people will give a pretty damn good reaction out of that. Yeah, I'm sure they will.
I'm sure
Someone
too.
might be gay. Maybe they'll bring back Billy and be like, "Yeah, I've been gone." He'll probably be like a transgender.
He came out
Maybe
of
he
the
was
closet since then.
maybe yeah, maybe he was back in the series for a long time. We just didn't know 'cause, he
This
transitioned.
sounds
So
crazy, but I think that they might go the route of making Piers gay retroactively.
Pierce,
Piers from Resident Evil 6.
but he died.
Well, I'm talking. That's why I said retroactively. As in like
Okay, okay,
past, like
okay,
retroactively. I feel like they'll go that route
okay. Like someone
because
will probably
even
just
though I
come
don't
out in an interview, so like, yeah,
and
he was
say
he
like
was gay
yeah
or
yeah
whatever.
some goofy
Okay, okay,
crap
I get
like
what you're
that.
saying. Or if
Goofy
they
crap.
do remake the game, I wouldn't put it past them to remake the
Yeah.
fucking game. They're probably
If
gonna
they remake
remake 5
6,
for no good reason.
that will be the most brain dead thing they've ever done.
People are gonna
Like
be like, "Oh, I'm glad they're remaking 6 because now they can fix the game." And it's like, all right, well, they're not gonna completely change the game entirely to where it plays and functions, or like the story or certain events just don't happen. So,
yeah, exactly.
uh, that guy Biz, do you think we will win making fun games again? I think so. I mean, I'm not making a game, but I mean, when developers do make good games that are free of any ideological nonsense, then people more than likely, I mean, I would hope they do, but they will gravitate towards that and support it. I mean, look at Black Myth Wukong. Despite it's a
Yeah,
Chinese made game, and you got to also be very mindful of that. It doesn't have any woke bullshit in it, and it turned out to be, from my understanding, a very good game. So, and it's also getting a physical copy, a physical release, I should say. I don't know when though, but they did say they could do that. So, and despite Stellar Blade having the censorship, which could be, it's a coin toss between Sony and Shift Up, but obviously Shift Up agreed to doing it. So,
well, yeah,
uh,
they have to
it
embrace
it was still a good
responsibility.
game.
But it is
Yeah.
kind of weird. It's weird because they add more costumes with like fan service, and I would argue some of the added costumes are just as extreme, if not more extreme. And they added a photo mode and increased the jiggle physics, but then they were playing ball with
Yeah.
the bullshit and the censorship that they were I believe was put upon them by Sony. So
Hmm.
it's kind of weird to say. I think that there's some weird power struggle going on. I wouldn't be surprised if the developers of Shift Up didn't want to do certain things, but they had no choice. And because they had no
Well,
choice, like because they signed a deal with Sony and they had to play ball, but it was only like a limited contract. That would explain why some of the costumes are like less covered up and like still, and they would enhance jiggle physics and stuff. Because it
yeah.
could be a thing where they just can't talk about it publicly at the risk of a lawsuit or something.
Right. Right. But
I
once,
think I think it's funky. I just think that it's not so black and white with them because it doesn't make sense to censor the costumes and then add more sexy costumes and jiggle
yeah.
physics and more like it just doesn't add up to me. Something weird is
Hmm.
going on there.
Well, once they went public, I think a few days after that, people saw on their website or somewhere where um on there they want people who are like involved with ESG or have some type of like training under it, something like that.
Hmm.
I don't remember the exact wording, but it was definitely on there and people had pointed it out.
Yeah, yeah, that makes a
So
lot of sense.
I would be very skeptical of whatever Shift Up puts out next, especially like a Stellar Blade 2. Oh,
Hmm. Yeah, I wouldn't. Stellar Blade 2 wouldn't be like a must buy for me like the first game was, for sure. Only because I would have to
mhm.
wait and see how the game is released, which is a shame because they built up so much good faith. You know, they built up so much good faith with the original, with the first game,
Yeah,
and then
and then they
like they
kind of
pulled.
squandered it like the day it came out, pretty much, or like the week
Yeah.
it was coming out when people found out the changes and all that. So that's the thing a lot of developers do is like they'll put out a good game and then the sequel comes out or gets announced, and then it's like you see all these red flags and they're obvious, kind of like Ghost of Tsushima and Ghost of Yote. Though Ghost of Tsushima had like some woke shit in it anyway, but
Mhm.
I guess you can say
People
it's not
forget
as
that.
egregious as other games, but I think I
People
think for
for
the most
people.
part, people just looked at it as like, I like the game, so whatever little minor woke crap that's in it, I'm gonna ignore it and pretend that it was a well made game with no woke crap in it.
Yeah, like it was in there. Like people people are easy to forget that that game did have some woke stuff in it. I mean, was it like super egregious? No, but there basically was a whole subplot dedicated to telling you that I believe Masako was a lesbian. That's basically was the purpose of of the subplot. So,
Yeah,
and then
there was
like
there was a
again, you
lot of female characters fighting alongside you and all that. So
yeah,
for this game that's supposed to be pretty historically accurate, I don't know. So.
exactly.
And people make it seem like, oh, like Sucker Punch is like immune to this. It's like no studio is immune to going in
As long
that
as
direction.
motherfuckers want money, there's gonna be some greed.
Yeah, of course.
As long as people want money out there.
Yeah. Hold on. Yurik. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Tomo was a self-insert girl boss in Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Wow.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
There you go.
Tomoe. It's Tomoe. That's how you.
Tomo. Okay.
But anyway, yeah, you're
Let me
right.
see. Yeah, Tomo.
The game had some woke stuff in it, and people want to pretend that it doesn't because they like the game. I liked it. I thought the game was fun. I really did. I really enjoyed playing through it. But when those parts of the game came up, I rolled my eyes, and it's so funny. I see people trying to argue with me about it, saying like, "Oh well, no one said about the first game. You didn't say that." It's like, how the fuck do you know? When the first game
Yeah,
came out,
right. Yeah.
I was rolling my eyes at that BS.
Yeah. They make it seem like because they didn't see a shit ton of videos about it that no one on planet Earth was talking about it.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Yeah. I mean, I
the
told you
pro
about it when I was playing through the game. When I was
yeah, I know,
playing through
yeah.
the game, I was telling you about it because I was like, even people act like, you know what it is, because most common people are now aware of wokeness, but this shit has been around, been being talked about
For a long
and
time.
yeah, for a long time since like 20. I
Before
was talking,
2000,
I was
2016, people would make it
I
seem
was
like,
talking
oh,
about it in
it was around
2013.
then.
In
Yeah,
2013 I was noticing it, and it just got progressively
yeah.
worse over time. Like just because somebody
Mhm.
just became aware of it doesn't mean it wasn't always there.
Yeah,
Well, it
exactly. That's
wasn't
one of
there
the
for
reasons
quite a
why I
while.
stopped playing, Dragon Age Inquisition, because I noticed some of the shit that was in there. I'm like, "Come on now."
Exactly.
So,
So but yeah, that
also,
game.
it got pretty boring anyway, so, but
And also, like, remember that people, like, I had also a conversation with people talking about, the realism of the game. I'm saying the game is not realistic at all, first off.
no.
And in the end, women's roles in Japanese society was not. basically that of like how the men were. Like, yes, there were females that knew how to that were like considered samurai. Not even samurai, I forgot the word for it. There's a name for it. But their main role was to be trained to protect the home in the absence of the husband. And even then, they were not really like warriors like that. They were just basically, given basic training to protect the homestead. Like there's so many
Hmm.
factors to it. And then you got to remember
Yeah.
that they represented like 1% of the total population of the warriors, when the warriors themselves represented like 1% of population. So they're 1% of 1%. And you like you can't argue that to say, oh well, that's why there's female characters in the game. It's like, yeah, kiss my ass. They're there because they wanted to put female characters in the game, female warriors in the
Yep.
game, and that's all it really comes down to. And people want to pretend that, you know, people want to pretend that there's like realism. They're like, oh, there were female warriors. All right, 1% of 1%. Why are there so many in the game?
Right. Exactly.
And there's one more thing I want to say
Let
with
me.
that. And also the argument, and then people try to make the counter argument. Well, it's not realistic for Jin to fight multiple men. Like, yes, in reality, fighting multiple warriors alone means you probably died. But I've
Mhm.
seen men fight off multiple other men in real life. I've seen it happen. I've never seen a single woman fight off multiple men. So even in that realm of non-realism or whatever, what you want, unrealism, whatever you want to call it, there's even within that realm, it doesn't skew in the favor of those people.
Mhm. Let me read off the Prime's comment that he left a little while ago. Anyone
Oh,
see Learn the Law's tweet about Metroid and Mercury Steam? Also, your thoughts on so-called Metroid fans that have a problem with Samus fan service, despite it being a thing since the first game. Oh, what's that term they call us whenever we're calling out bullshit in certain series? Yeah, tourists. Yeah, those are the real
oh,
tourists. Because they don't
um,
know what the fuck they're talking about. Because they complain about shit about fucking fan service that, like you said, which is a known fact. Everyone fucking knows this. Um, even me, I'm not a big Metroid fan. I played some of them, but I'm not a huge fan like that. I know Jinpachi is,
oh yeah,
but yeah, that's been well known. So they want to get mad over that because I don't know, maybe they want her to be some LGBT representation form of a character now. Like they want to do that with Bayonetta and
yeah.
a
They're
couple of other
stupid
like
for that.
female characters.
As
Um,
bad as bad
with
as
the
Other M
Mercury Steam
is,
thing, yeah, I saw that about what Learning the Law had wrote with
as as far as Other
had
M,
revealed about the studio bringing on like activists. So I'm not really
yeah,
surprised. I mean, that's
yeah.
another studio I can avoid any of their games. I mean, what have they really put out recently? The last thing I played for them was fucking Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2. So,
Yeah. Mercury,
and
I
I
think,
actually
yeah.
played it when it came out. What was it, 2014 or something? 2013?
Well,
I think 2014.
they're trying to ensure that they get the most contracts. That's the other part of it, right? Because if they play ball, that means that companies are gonna want to give them the contracts to make them, those there's a lot of ports or like remakes or whatever,
Mhm.
or like
Can you
other
talk a little
series,
louder in your mic? You sound a little low.
or
Like you're kind of like going in
or
and out.
of the entire series because of other series. Like they want to basically like stay. They want to play ball so they get the contracts to certain game licenses. But
Hmm.
you know, if we're talking about like Samus, right? Like trying to like people forget that Samus and is like, yeah, she's a hard ass, but there's no indication of her not liking men. I think Other M implies that she does like, obviously has like attraction toward men from what I remember, even though that game wasn't great. But I just they try to stretch all these characters into this, and it just never works. I don't think has it ever worked. Have they ever done this where it's like been universally loved? I don't think so. I don't think I can name a single character that was made like not bi, but like totally lesbian that it works with.
I don't know.
You could argue maybe Ellie from The Last of Us One, but even then, I didn't even know she was like that until the DLC. I didn't even play the DLC when it came out. And on top of that, in the second game, I mean, the second game's so divisive that I can't argue that she's a really popular character like that.
Yeah, she's definitely not as much as they want to make her out to be. So,
Yeah,
and
she's
if
not.
Ellie's really like this, like people think she's like this great, amazing character. I'm sorry, she fucking sucks. She pales in comparison to so many other characters.
She does. I
So
agree.
I don't care what anyone says.
Neozoic asked a
You
question.
can count her in the first and second game. She still sucks.
Yeah, Zoic asked a question. Favorite horror movies, 3 through 5.
Well,
So
he
just
asked a
his main
question.
top three.
He asked a question for you earlier. I'll read it off because you may be like a little behind. What Jim Pachi off topic? What is your thoughts on Zack Snyder and Frank Miller saying that Adam West's Batman show damaged the reputation of Batman?
I don't think that's true because, and I'm gonna explain why. Because yes, it was mainstream and very popular, but at the same time, Batman had already become pretty camp before that. You had the comics Code of Authority where they made Batman really goofy. He had like a lot of like goofy story arcs. He became more of like a you know an he was he became he lost a lot of his darkness pretty like early on, and like I don't really think that show did the damage. I think it just made it mainstream. Um, but yeah, I think they're both wrong there. I think that the brand, the Comics Code Authority, I think they're the ones who actually damage his brand by enforcing changes, and it just trickled down. The show is just a symptom of that. So I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry, I was muted for a second.
Okay. Don't ever do
No,
that
but
again.
I agree with what you're saying because to me
But
it's
yeah,
like it just sounds like two guys trying to, in a way, put over what they did, like
yeah.
their interpretation of it, and
Well,
it's like,
well,
oh
look.
what we did uh made Batman better, but in the past, it was just it was very damaging to it, and it's like
Say
when
what you
I don't
want.
think that was the case, and I kind of feel like I
Hmm.
don't even think saying that is really even necessary because Adam West is not even alive to even like comment on that or even defend his position on him, him playing Batman for so many years.
Well, you would have to ask
So
not Adam West, but the showrunners
yeah, I was actually gonna say that as well. Where
or the writers. They're the people that I
yeah,
would. He's saying Adam West Batman because if you say '60s Batman, that can mean a lot of different things. I think when you
no,
say
I
Adam
know.
West Batman, it's a very clear picture of who they're talking about.
Yeah, no, I know. But what I'm saying is like even him, 'cause he portrayed Batman, so I'm sure he would have like his own opinion or own like take on it, or if he was able to, maybe like respond or defend, you know,
Yeah.
what was going on
Well,
from the show. Because yeah,
look.
he wasn't calling
Here's
the
the
shots
thing.
as far as like the direction of it, most
Mhm.
likely, but I'm sure he had some input and also understood
Well,
what they were going for with the
well,
show.
he understood the tone. I don't know how much input he had on the actual script or show because again, like he's an actor. So who knows how much he had as far as input goes, but I think that you can't really blame them for that because that's a symptom of what the comics had already done, where they had made Batman a little big. Like yeah, he was. They really did change him quite a bit with that. They made him much softer, less dark. They wanted him to appeal more to like kids. That's the reason why Robin exists, by the way. Like there's several reasons why I wouldn't blame that show for it. And the show is good in its own right. It's goofy, but it's not meant to be taken seriously anyway. But I think like when it comes to like Frank Miller, like whether you like him or not, there's no denying that he definitely made an impact on the character for the better. I think that like because of and not just he gets a lot of credit, but there were other writers in the '70s who were trying to restore Batman to that to his like older more like uh grim visage that was lost. So, but he really did make notable changes. Like whether you like the guy or not, you have to respect it. Um, as far as Zack Snyder goes, Zack Snyder just copied the homework of Frank Miller, and I don't think he even understood what he was reading based on how he portrayed Batman. And as much as I like Batfleck, I do like Ben Affleck as Batman. I think that like I think that Batman could. I think it's unfortunate that Zack Snyder wanted to have like he should have had another writer write the movie. He should just be a creative director, honestly. I don't think he's the kind of guy who should be
Yeah,
writing any kind of story. Like he should just be hired on as a guy who does visual stuff, like cinematic stuff, stuff like that. Like uh, fight scene direction, like tone direction. But as far as like the story script goes, he should stay far away from that because it's proven that he's unable to do it. And even his best work is adapted from other work. Like 300 is based on Frank Miller's novel. You know,
Hmm.
is based off a graphic novel. Since he didn't do Sin City. What's it called? And also you have Watchmen, where the work was already done
Oh
for
yeah.
him with Watchmen. You know, he didn't write.
Hmm.
He had so much material to work with. So I think that he's not. He should never be in a writing role. I think he should just be a creative role. The only thing I will give him though is that the Ben Affleck suit in BVS to me is his best live action suit, and I think that when that Batman was like actually fighting, it was the closest thing to comic book Batman that we've gotten so far.
Mm.
Despite outside of the fact that he killed people, whatever. But like when it comes to like just his presence and aura and fighting style and the way he would move around in space, like and when I say space, I mean like in his environment was closest to what we got.
Yeah. No, I agree. I also agree with what No Name had wrote. He said it was overly colorful, much like a lot of '60s shows, because of the advent and mass adaptation of color TVs. Yeah. Oh, what the hell happened? No, maybe his phone died. All right. Well, I can just wait for him to come back, and then we can let people on because we are running low on stream bucks, and so people know what that means. StreamYards, you can only stream. You have a certain amount of hours to stream. I think for the month or for a few months or something, and then it resets. I think the next month or something like that. I don't remember how it is. So unless you upgrade to like the pay plan. What is it called? Like you know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, so yeah, we got about like 4 hours left to stream. So hopefully we don't have to go that long. I think we can make it 3 hours. I think that's pretty good. 3 hours should be pretty good. So and then next week, if we do another stream that weekend, then I would assume it would reset. So oh, he's back.
Sorry about that. My phone dropped out on me. Do I sound
Oh,
clear?
that's all right. Yeah, you good, you good.
Okay.
You heard what I said,
What was
right?
the last thing that I said? Did you guys heard?
About Ben Affleck fighting in space.
Oh
And
yeah,
then
that in
not literal space.
yeah, in a 3D environment, he was the closest thing to the comics and like feeling like Batman despite killing. And the last thing I said before I cut out, I guess, was that if the current contemporary Batman like came out in the '60s, I think it would not have done well. I think people would have
Mm,
rejected it because it would have been against what was like the mainstream culture at the time. Even though it's objectively better, in my opinion, as far as storytelling goes, I think people in the '60s weren't used to seeing that kind of thing on TV.
right.
So, it's but my
Yo,
point of
what's up,
saying is
Y2 Viral?
my point is that it's a product of its time, and I think that
Hmm.
we have to acknowledge that even the stuff now, would not get over. I don't think would get over it in that era. So I'm not
Yeah.
defending it because obviously I prefer a much more darker take. I prefer a much more darker take on Batman.
Hmm.
But what can you say, man? It's the '60s, and they were playing to the trends of the time.
Yeah.
And colorful and goofy and psychedelic was the trend of the
Hmm.
'60s. So
Yeah.
yeah, you can't knock it too hard.
Neozoic asked Remnant and Japachi. Fun question. Favorite horror movies? 3 to 5? Oh, three up to like up to 3 and 5. Ooh, man. Is Boston Strangler considered a horror movie? I don't think so, right?
Boston Strangler.
I don't think so.
Uh,
No, that's a really good
it is.
movie.
It is.
It
It's a
really is.
suspense thriller. I guess you could
Yeah,
classify.
so I don't. Yeah, maybe it's not. You know what? I won't say it is because it's not like
I
it's
mean,
not.
you could put it in there. There's an element of
Okay,
horror to it, I guess.
okay. So yeah, I'm gonna put that on there. Uh, I'm gonna say the original Halloween one.
Okay. Yeah, I know you
I
really
probably
like
pick
those
some of
movies.
the other ones and the other sequels to it, but I'll just keep it simple and say the original, the first Halloween one, the original. I'm trying to think of anything else. Shit. I kind of want to troll and say Basket Case, but it's not my favorite.
That movie is ridiculous.
Yeah, there's
Basket
also
Case.
Brain Damage, but I don't think that's that. I mean, it's not my favorite, but it's a
That's
good
definitely a
one.
horror movie though. It
Yeah, yeah,
definitely is.
it is. It is. It's a good one too, but I wouldn't say. I don't know if I would say it's my favorite. Oh, the thing. The thing is good.
Yeah.
Not the remake that came out a while after.
I don't think anyone
The
thinks of the remake when you mention that movie.
yeah. I'm trying to think what other ones. Some movies were pretty good up to a
Yeah.
certain point. Um, I don't know if
So
I don't know if I would say it's my favorite. Leprechaun is good. The first one. I like that one. I have a soft spot for that movie. I remember I scared the shit out of me when I was a kid.
but he looked pretty creepy back then.
He did. He really did.
I think he just looked so creepy as a kid that it kind of made up for his like the movie being
Goofiness.
kind of goofy. Yeah, because he really looked pretty creepy, like and disturbing.
Yeah. Um, what was that movie? What was it? Funny Games.
Oh,
That's a
that was
good
a cool
one.
movie. What a weird movie that was.
Well, it's actually a remake. I think the original one is like a French movie or something. Some foreign movie that came out in the 90s, I believe, and then the remake came out in 2000 and I want to say 2007 maybe.
It's like more of an American. It's more of like an adaptation than a remake. It is a remake, but I would argue
Yeah.
it's more like an American adaptation of it because.
Yeah.
But
Uh
yeah.
No Name Exorcist. Yeah, that was a good one. The first one. That was another good one. Um Final Destination Y2 said.
I
That's
already
a
know
good one.
I already know a couple off the top of my head. To be frank,
Okay, well
like what I
you can
consider
go
my
then. I got to think of a
favorites.
few more.
My favorites first on the top of the list. Number one is the original Nightmare on Elm Street movie. I love that movie. Like that's like
That's
probably
a good one.
my favorite one. Favorite horror movie. Then you have the thing, right? The John the first one, obviously, 1987.
Yeah.
That movie is amazing. That's an incredible movie. Um, I don't really put. I try to go by what really freaks me out, and I don't. That's why I can't put. That's why I can't put like Halloween on there because I don't really find Michael Myers that creepy. I like the suspense of it, but I don't find him scary. Like,
Oh, you know what? That came to mind. Halloween 3. That's very underrated. I think it would have done better if it wasn't a Halloween movie. If it wasn't called Halloween,
yeah,
because uh, on on its own, it's very good.
it's hard to pick favorites. There's so many ones that I like. You know, that was such a golden era for those movies. The '80s.
There was another one called Magic. It's about
Yeah,
this guy. He
that
has
was good.
like a puppet. What's it called again when they perform? You know, they got the puppet and the puppet talks and
Oh,
they pretend.
The Hills Have Eyes, the first remake. I really like that movie too. The first remake that they
That's a
made,
good one.
not this. I don't like the sequel like that, but the remake sequel. But the original, the first Halloween, obviously Halloween, the first Hills Have
You're thinking
Eyes
of Rob
remake.
Zombie, right?
Yeah, the first Hills Have Eyes remake, I really liked a lot. I thought that was a great movie, and it almost had a pacing of like a survival horror game, which I really thought was cool. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's a very cool movie. I like that
Oh,
movie a lot.
Y2 said Tales from the Hood. I remember that movie.
Yeah. So
That's a good one.
those three I would put high on the list. I like a lot of others, but they're just more like, I like them. They're not my. It's hard. There's so many of them. Um. Yeah. Like that's the top three that I would put. I don't put Friday the 13th anywhere on a list like that because again, like I don't find them particularly like scary. You know, Slither is a good horror comedy as well. I like that movie. That movie was good. There's a movie called Dreamcatcher that was really weird. Oh, what the hell? How can I forget this? What the I just remember now. The original It. You
Oh
know,
yeah, yeah.
it's
That's a
more of a
good
mini
one.
series, but I love those, man.
Yeah,
That movie was
that's a good one. Yeah, I'll put that on mine too.
yeah, like that movie was crazy. I love that
Hmm.
movie. It and the new ones are good. The new ones aren't that bad either, to be
Ooh,
honest.
Hannibal.
Oh yeah, Hannibal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's hard to
Hannibal's
pick
good.
because the first one was
Silence of the
really good.
Lambs.
That one's good too.
Yeah, like those are really cool.
Yeah.
Silence of the Lambs. The first Alien's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Phantasm was good. I would say more so the first one. It kind of, you know,
But they went into
they
straight like into like science fiction action. It became like an action trilogy
yeah,
more than
it did.
anything.
So, what was the other one? God
I
damn
can't
it.
put I can't put Puppet Master there because I just can't get past how these
that
people
that
get
one
killed
that
by
one
these.
went into like science fiction, like action.
I just can't tolerate how these people get killed by like these puppets. They like trip and fall over, and the puppets are so
Nah,
small.
those
Like I,
puppets are strong as hell. What are you talking about?
I just can't. I
And they're
just can't,
clever.
bro. I just can't. I just can't take. I can't like. I can't believe it, bro. Because
Right,
I
that's
think
fair.
about
That's fair.
myself, I would kick the motherfuckers across the room, bro. Like, and once I saw them, I don't even care what they did. Once I saw them moving, they're going flying, bro.
What about the Winnie the Pooh horror movie?
Oh no, hell no. Oh, Scream is pretty good too.
Oh yeah, I
Can't
forgot
forget
about that.
Scream.
That was a good one too.
Yeah, so there's too many. I think my top three would be Nightmare on Elm Street, The Thing, and Silent. And I was gonna say Silent Hill. And what the hell's
Well,
with this
the
movie?
first Silent Hill what movie wasn't that bad.
No, no, no. But I mean,
What it was.
I meant the hills have eyes. That's why I'm
Okay,
getting
okay.
choked up on the word hill. That's the hill that my brain is dying on with this one.
Yeah,
But literally,
yeah. I'd probably say Halloween, the Thing. Uh, fuck it. Boston Strangler.
Boston Strangler.
Hey, it was kind of creepy. It's kind of creepy. It was, yeah. It's more suspenseful, like a drama in a way, but you know, still.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah,
Anyway,
moving on, moving on.
so
But
we
anyone
should
who hasn't seen it, you should definitely watch the first Hills Have Eyes.
mhm,
First Hill. Oh,
that's a good one.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
Oh
Evil Dead.
yeah, that's another
You know
one.
what? You know what? I'll put Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original one. I'll put it up there,
Yeah,
and I'll make it like a
yeah,
top
and
four. I'll
and
put that up there.
and the thing. I'll add the thing. Not the thing. I'm sorry. The original
Yeah,
one,
yeah.
because
But
that one's really good.
you guys should really watch the first remake of The Hills Have Eyes. I think that's actually a pretty decent movie on its own. Um,
Yeah, we got
but
some good Evil
and yes,
Dead on
unpopular
there.
opinion, I like Rob Zombie's Halloween movies
The two
because
remakes.
yeah, because you know what?
I like them
Unlike
too.
the I don't get me wrong, the original is there like I do like the originals a lot, but the reason why I like the Rob Zombie one is because I felt like he was so physically threatening that it's like it doesn't
Hmm.
matter if you're afraid of him or not because I think the amount of violence he was capable of doing made him really creepy, you know? Because he was so imposing and fucking strong. Like there's a scene in the second movie where he's like lifting a car and they have like the silhouette and it's kind of like a reference to like the really old like horror movies like where they would have the silhouette behind like the moon and it's such a cool like it's a good I like those movies. I get why purists don't like them, but I personally like them. I think
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I think that I would argue that they get more hate than they deserve. But that's my again
Mhm.
that's subjective. I know a lot of people don't like those movies, but I do.
Yeah. Candyman, that's another good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
There's a
Hostel,
movie.
yeah,
There's a movie
Hostel.
called
I did not
Society.
like Hostel. I'm sorry.
There's a movie called Society, and that movie is fucking weird,
Oh
guys. Like,
yeah, I think I remember that one too.
yeah, I was telling you about it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a really weird movie. It's kind of like a comedy horror, but it is really creepy. It is kind of creepy,
Hmm.
and it's just really it's disturbing actually. Like I would recommend watching that. There was a movie called The
Blair Witch
Void.
Project.
There was a
I
movie
didn't.
called The Void. Um, that movie it was kind of it's much more modern, but that was really good. So there's so many I can go on forever of great
I like
horror
Lester.
films.
What was it? Lester the Freak or something like that.
Lester the Geek.
The Geek. Is that what it was? Yeah, that was pretty good. I mean, it's not my favorite. I'm just naming some movies, some horror movies that are pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? You know what? I gotta add one to my favorites. How could I forget this one? I love this movie, The Collector. 1 and 2.
Oh,
The remakes, oh my god, those are fucking amazing, bro. I love those. I love you guys in the comments have seen it, but Collector 1 and 2 is awesome. Uh, it's an awesome film, man. I love that movie. That one. I mean, it's a remake, but it's like a reimagining. But damn, that movie was crazy, and it threw me for a loop when I first saw it. I did not expect. It was crazy. It was a weird movie, and he was like kind of
is
like
the
had a.
Invisible Man considered horror?
I believe so.
That was
Well,
pretty good.
yeah, I believe so.
I liked it.
Yeah, the Invisible Man. And there's, I mean, I liked Hollow Man even. You ever guys remember Hollow Man? It was basically
I've
like
heard
a
of it, but I
retell.
didn't see it.
It was basically like Invisible Man, but like you know like a it's like based off of, I don't know if it's based off of it, but it's like the same idea. A guy becomes invisible and starts doing crazy shit, but it's pretty good in my opinion. I liked it. It's a little cheesy now because it definitely feels like a '90s movie, but
Hmm. Yeah. So we should let
oh,
some guests on now
and one
because
last one.
we're kind of limited on time.
There's a movie called Mimic that I like a lot too.
Oh yeah, I like that one.
That
All
was
three of
cool,
them.
yeah.
They were good.
And Jeepers Creepers 1 and 2.
There's a
Unfortunately, the
third
guy
one,
who
right?
is a third. Unfortunately, the guy who made that movie is a twisted freak, but
Didn't he go to jail?
he's a creep. He
Could have
likes
sworn he went
kids
to
too
jail.
much. He likes
That's
kids
yeah.
too
That's
much.
yeah. Could have sworn he went to jail for that.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I mean, like, despite that, those movies are good. But to be frank, after finding that out about him, I find those movies kind of hard to watch because then you see like his like self-inserted weird fetishes are in those movies, which is
Mm-hmm.
disturbing. So
Yeah. Just like God, who the hell was it? I forgot. It was some other person. I don't remember if they did shows or movies, but stuff came out about them a while ago. Anyway, um, yeah, we
yeah,
should let some guests on to
yeah.
get
Let's
things
move on and
rolling.
get to the get to the topics.
Yeah. So I'll send out some links to people on X, and I'll put the link in the chat for anyone else.
Yeah, I think that would be good.
And like as usual, we'll keep it to a minimum, like 2 or 3 additional people, and see how that goes.
You said the fourth one was trash. Why two? The fourth what? The fourth, is there four Jeepers Creepers movies? I thought there were only three. Anyway, but yeah, yeah,
What was that movie
yeah.
with the uh Pinhead? What was it called again?
Hellraiser.
Hellraiser. Yeah, yeah. Those were pretty good.
They were.
I didn't see the one with the female. The modern audience one. I don't plan on it.
And it kind of makes you wonder, what's the point? Like, what's the point of making that character? Because the whole thing with Hellraiser is like pain and pleasure, where like the Cenobites were like sick. They were like sick. Their pleasures consumed them, and they became demons. Or whatever you want to call them, like otherworldly entities. So, I know it sounds crazy it's not even crazy, but it's just make common sense. If you're gonna play into a female Hellraiser, you should probably play into her sexuality, because to me that fits the tone of what they're going for, right? Like, but I didn't see the movie. But I'm just gonna assume that they didn't. That would be the only reason why I would make the Hell Priest. That's what people call him Pinhead, but they just call him Hellraiser. But that movie, the actual character is the Hell Priest. If you're gonna make the Hell Priest female, you might as well play into that. Pain and pleasure and all that other nonsense. Otherwise, there's basically no point.
Yeah, I agree.
What's my favorite horror game, and only real fans will notice? Uh, Rainbow Six Vegas 2 is my favorite horror game.
What?
That game's
I
a
think
horror, bro.
well the new horror game horror game coming out is Dragon Age Veilguard.
Yeah, yeah. I hope
Ready
you
for that?
guys get why. I hope you guys in the comments who play that game get why I make that joke about Rainbow Six Vegas 2 being my favorite horror game, because that game is crazy. I don't care. I don't
Okay.
care what game you play. No game would jump scare you more than that game. You hear a gunshot, the screen turns black, guy just appears in front of you. The bitch is dead. He just fades black.
Didn't we finish the campaign a while ago?
I finished it. I don't know if you finished it with me.
I could have sworn we did.
I remember. I don't remember. I remember playing it myself. I mean, we probably did.
I know
just don't
that,
remember.
but I'm saying I could have sworn we
I think you might have played it with me, but I don't know if you actually.
I could have
finished it.
sworn we did the thing from beginning to end, and
I
you were
don't
kind of
think so.
talking me through it and shit because I was obviously was not very familiar with the game as far as playing it.
I honestly don't recall. I'll take your word for it. I don't remember.
Fair enough. I remember I helped you. Well, not helped you because you needed help, but because it was so fucking boring. I think it was Gears of War 4
Oh yeah.
with the
No, it
robots or
was
whatever the hell. Was it?
no, it
Was it
wasn't
that
Gears
one?
of War. It was Gears of War 1, I believe, or Gears of War 2. I had you play with me.
Oh, I could have. All right, well, whatever. I could have sworn. No, it had to have been 4 because I remember I was laying down the traps. You had to like maneuver the thing to
We were
to
probably playing
that.
horde mode.
I could have sworn it was a story. There was cutscenes, I believe.
I don't recall, man. To be honest,
All right, whatever. It's fine.
I know we did play. I know we played the horde mode. The horde mode. The horde mode.
Nope.
That's the best mode. No, but the horde mode. I remember playing that.
How's it going,
Good,
guys?
How's it going?
Hey, what's
How's
up,
it
no
going,
name?
man?
Or name no.
We've swapped it around for no reason.
Name no. He turned
Name no.
Japanese. He turned
I did.
Japanese, and he changed the sentence structure.
It's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. So how's it going?
Not too bad. Not too bad. How are you guys?
Oh, good. I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good.
Doing good.
That's good.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Fave horror games. Oh man, that's a topic I'd like to talk about. That's brilliant.
Favorite horror game? There's still many to choose.
There is.
Yeah. I mean, we can limit it to like 3 or 5, maybe. I don't know. Whatever is easier.
Yeah.
My
Yeah,
favorite
yeah.
horror game is Rainbow Six Vegas 2.
Okay. I don't quite get that one. I played the first Rainbow Six. I liked it. But like, what happens in 2? Why is that such a horror game?
I mean, I'm joking around, but in Rainbow Six Vegas 2, you die basically almost instantly, right? And enemies will just appear. Like they'll just be behind a door or like in a corner, and they'll instantly shoot you and kill you, and the screen will just fade. You'll see them, then the screen fades to black. So you get jump scared by the terrorist. Then the screen instantly fades to black, and you just hear them calling you a bitch. So that's why I call it my favorite horror game, because it's like it's almost like a horror movie jump scare, but it's just that it's not meant. It's clearly not meant to be that. It just is.
That's hilarious. I remember like the first Siege and thought it was good. I thought the spawns were the enemy placement was really good. The spawns weren't insufferable or anything. Where it was a bit of a different story.
Rainbow Six Vegas one, you mean, right? Because the only
Vegas one, yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, Siege
I don't like Siege, bro. Honestly,
no. It's not. It's taken like I know that the Vegas games were quite quote unquote dumbed down compared to the originals. Where you had to plan every single step.
Yeah, you chose your equipment. You didn't have abilities to rely on to help you. Like I like that because it made me feel like I was in control and I was customizing my character. But in Siege, it just feels like the game kind of like picks everything for you. A big layer of creativity was removed because of that. I mean, the gameplay is serviceable, but it's like that's not the point. The point is that I'm an operative when I play that game. I choose my loadout. I choose what I want to do. If you pick a preset operator, you lose a lot of that. That's like that's the surface of why I don't like it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just used to like it when you used to, it used to be like, here's the planning stage. You're gonna go in and you're gonna hit them from, if you were able to pull off the perfect like pincer maneuver or something, it was
Exactly.
pretty good feeling. But I guess with the Siege, it's all like multiplayer focused, and
Yeah.
they generally do not give a shit about tactical. Like they're adding the most stupidest of operators now, right? There's like one like a
Well, it's
wheelchair.
cartoony.
The
It's cartoony.
wheelchair operator.
Wheelchair operator.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yeah. It
it's
really is. Yeah.
cartoony. It's cartoony. It became anime. That's what it did. It became anime because
Anime
because
for
think about
retards.
it. Yeah, well, basically, that's what I'm saying. It became it just became science fiction because again, you're playing that game. Even the multiplayer in Rainbow Six Vegas 2, I'm just gonna use that one because I played it so much. When you're with a squad of teammates and you guys build your characters around helping each other and you strategize, and in that game it was very tactical, because like I said before, you die so quickly that you have to take cover, you have to breach, and when you're doing team versus team and you're communicating with your guys, it's very immersive and you feel like you're really immersed in what you're doing. But with Siege, it's like the game plays itself basically treating people like retards, like a lot of excuse my French, but that's how I talk, treating people like retards
Follow
because
me.
because they don't think that players are smart enough to be tactical. There probably is something to that, but why punish people like this? I'm sorry, I'm gonna go on a little rant here. The reason
Yeah.
why it doesn't fucking matter is because people are gonna like the game that are casual no matter what. They don't know what they don't know. When you lower competitiveness to fit those people, the casual players don't stick around anyway. That's why they're casual players. And on top of that, you're just lowering the options and you're just overtuning the game in a way that makes it less competitive. That's why when you play games like that and you water everything down, it basically ruins the series. It ruins what makes it special. One
No,
great
they'll still
example of
ruin
that
him.
is Tekken. I love
Oh,
Tekken, but Tekken got fucking ruined. They
all
ruined
right.
it. They made Tekken and again, that's how I talk. They made Tekken for retards.
Yeah.
That's
It's
what it is.
ruined. It's ruined, Brian.
Everything's 100% aggressive. Defense has been nerfed. Movement's been nerfed because good players know how to sidestep and duck and dodge. So because that's hard for an idiot, you know, who doesn't play fighting games, they made it harder for players to move. Only if you're gonna ruin a game, if you're gonna do that with your series, you're gonna right now Tekken is losing players because the players that are legacy players like myself have stopped playing the game. And the reason why is because you don't play Tekken was one of those games that was so technical that it wasn't it wasn't as much, it was always about 50-50s, but it wasn't a total coin flip.
No,
Now
it was like the middle ground between like Street Fighter and Virtua Fighter, wasn't it? Where Virtua Fighter is
yeah.
like the absolute, like you're gonna be pretty artistically good,
Oh yeah.
really good at fighting games to play that shit.
That's me.
Yep.
That's me, bro.
Oh, nice.
Revenant,
Did you
Revenant,
like Virtua Fighter?
Revenant knows. I would play Virtual Fighter casually. I took like a week to learn my character, and then I became like an animal with him. Like Revenant knows
Yeah.
what I'm talking about. Like just became like a brute
Yeah.
with him. But like
I don't
the
want to
thing
play.
is,
I don't want to play against you after that.
because the thing is, yeah.
I can sympathize. My friend was really good at Guilty Gear Strive,
Oh, okay.
and because he played Milia, which
Okay.
is really funny because like she's like the the mix up. She like gets you in the corner and mixes you up. And he always complained that all the other characters didn't have to work as hard as him in order to
Yeah.
win. And I was just
Yeah.
there like, bro, I want to press buttons and have the stupid fighter do the stupid kick. You're making this terrible for me.
But what's
Yeah.
funny, and that's what I'm saying. Actually, that's a great that you mentioned that because that illustrates the point, right? I'll give you a Tekken example. For me, I understand why, let's say a character like Xiaoyu, right, or Xiaoyu, however you want to pronounce it.
Yeah.
She has cheese, right? Because, and I know why she's cheesy. I know what makes her competitively. I understand what makes her annoying to fight. But for a casual player, they're like unga boonga press buttons. It doesn't matter if you nerf the game for them because they're gonna have fun regardless, just mashing buttons with each other. So it makes no sense to do that. And I think that honestly, as a longtime Tekken fan who's been playing since the first game, I kind of hope the series dies. I really hope I hope this game kills the series. I hope it does. And that's not talking about the microtransactions and all the other bullshit. I'm not going to get into the technicals because I know like most people here probably don't play the game, don't care. But the game is 100% like watered down in a way that has totally ruined the spirit of the game. And then on top of that, you have all this fan service female costumes are now DLC, and you have a shit ton of microtransactions. So it shows me that Bandai Namco, they just want to fail. And if they want to fail, then I'll oblige them.
I mean, I'm not trying to be offensive, but wasn't Tekken already kind of casual friendly to begin with? Like you could.
No.
I was able to play it.
Well, so all right, so yeah, it was casual friendly to begin with, but again, like that's like the difference of a person who plays the game like in a more hardcore way versus a casual. So like let's say Revman, I know doesn't play in a hardcore way at all. If you play with him, you guys will have a ton of fun, even with Tekken 8, right? But for like a guy like me who's been playing it like hardcore forever, I know that like, all right, like if you understand punishment and frame data and spacing, then you see the holes in the game. You get what I'm saying? And those are the players that stick around. Those are the ones that are gonna play because they're competitive. You know, they want to rank up, they want to like do tournaments or whatever. So, you know,
are you part of the fighting game community? Because those guys are kind of paused as fuck at this point.
They're I mean, I don't consider myself. I would argue I am by default just because the nature of how I play fighting games. But I don't consider myself part of them because there are a lot of dickheads in there. Unfortunately, like a lot of them are. Like, don't get me wrong. It's not an elitist thing. I'm not trying to say that people can't have fun playing the game. I'm just saying your game shouldn't be built around casuals because casuals will like it anyway.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: if you lower the ceiling, if you keep lowering the ceiling, eventually you're going to lower it to the point where even the casual doesn't want to stick around because
bingo, and right now that's Tekken 8. even casual players are overwhelmed by the amount of aggression now because of all the nerf defense. So it became, the game became Mario Party. You flip a coin and whoever gets heads wins.
Oh wow, okay.
So I mean, I digress. We can move on from that.
Yeah, we should move on because time.
We're still running low on stream bucks, but
okay. Let me just make this quick. Rainbow Six Siege. I think the scary aspects is you're going to a corner, you're doing terrorist hunt, and then all of a sudden, come get me, bring that boss, right?
Basically, you turn a corner. Yeah. You turn a corner. That bitch owes me money.
Yep. Oh man, that game was shit, man. I just love Terrorist Hunt. That was my jam.
They do that. They do that in the story mode too. But Terrorist Hunt, especially, it becomes survival horror at that point.
Yeah, and when it comes to scary movies, I think what I call scary movies are two kinds of movies that can jump scare like Aliens, or something that is real. That's why I put Enemy of the State, because you're gonna look at you're gonna step outside, and then you're gonna look at your cell phone, and you're gonna ask, you listening to me? or you're gonna Final Destination. You step in the car, and then all of a sudden you're driving after watching a movie, and you're like, okay, what's gonna off me today? So that's what I think is the two kind of horror movies, something that can scare me in the movie or scare me outside the movie. Theater. Right.
So making you think right after you watch him, like, damn, I'm kind of afraid to get in this bus, afraid to get in this train, to get in this car.
Yeah, and one more point just to get this out of the way. When it comes to games like Tekken, I think the original Tekken, I played it in one of those collections. And when it comes to that, of course, it's going to be casual, because what are you going to be doing? You're playing the game, the first game. The first game is going to be kind of like Virtua Fighter. Virtua Fighter, Tekken had some of the Virtua Fighter people in it when they were making it.
The developers, yeah.
What's
up, guys?
So, and then after that, and I think after what's up? I think the third Tekken was the beginning when it started to get more hardcore, because my sister bought a guide for Tekken 3, and it was like a magazine, just like thick, just lots of pages, like multiple pages for one character and the
Yes.
skill and the move set. So when it comes to that, I think that was the point when Tekken became hardcore. But Tekken 8, I am so glad to hear that Jinpachi shares the same sentiment. I'm playing against somebody that is a casual, and I've been playing this thing since Tekken 4, right? I've been playing this since the 4th game. All of a sudden, I pick this thing up, and I'm like, what is this?
Yes.
So
it's too much pressure, bro. It's constant pressure, constant aggression, and constant plus frames. And the game incentivizes that because they want noobs to mash buttons and not be punished for it.
right.
You know,
So
that's what it is.
yeah, that's my side in terms of what you all just discussed. And
I'm just gonna say one last thing and we can move on from it. I agree with you, Octo, about it being like, you know, the first game being much more casual, in the sense that like most people didn't know how to play competitively, but believe it or not, bro, even the first game were being like played at a high level in arcades and in tournament. It's just that most people, you know, the fighting game, like, you know, it's not like now where you have YouTube, you know, and stuff like that, so it wasn't as exposed. But you'll be surprised. You would be surprised that even in Tekken 1, there's some tech in that game. There's stuff in there that's absolutely like brutal. If you don't know, if a person really knows that game, like it's brutal. It's really, I would argue it's probably as brutal as it gets. So I agree with what you're saying, that it's mostly casual because most people didn't know, you know, myself included at the time, didn't know anything about playing that competitively. But if you look back, there's actually old tournaments from like the 90s and people were like really nasty. And I went back and watched how people would play then, and there's like frame traps, there's like crazy shit in there, bro. Crazy. But
Yeah.
again, but I agree with you because
Nice.
your average player, especially in America, didn't know about that.
I think the first hardcore fighting game I played was Virtua Fighter and Fighting Vipers.
Yeah.
You know, those two.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Royce?
Good games.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, what's up, Royce? Let's get into the first topic.
Go ahead.
Dragon Age Veilguard, allegedly, people and even the always trustworthy media are claiming that it's doing well in pre-orders, and apparently it's on the top 25 I think pre-order games on Steam, or something like that. People were saying, which I find a little weird because I'm pretty sure this was like, wasn't this like the same shit they were saying with Star Wars Outlaws and Starfield and games like that ended up not doing very well. And I'm trying to find the post where a few people had played the game, a little bit of the game early, and gave their thoughts on the game, but ended up not getting a review code due to that. And I want to pull it up because the person in particular, and just so people are aware, this person even had mentioned that he's not part of any like culture war or anything like that. So no one can go around and be like, oh well, he's an anti-woke grifter complaining about Dragon Age and a tourist and shit like that. So I'm still trying to look for it. So it should be here soon. I'm trying to find it.
Right.
Okay, here we go.
Octo, before you continue, I just have a quick question because I know I'll forget. Octo, who do you play as in Tekken?
Okay.
The main one before we go back, because I know like there's not a lot of time. I'm just curious.
Okay. So when it comes to mains, I want to main Yoshimitsu, but my main that I know that can work with me is what's that guy that does that's obsessed with that death punch?
Paul Phoenix.
No, not Paul Phoenix. No. It's a Chinese guy. He's like one that was featured in Tekken 5.
Oh, Fang.
Yeah, Fang. That was my dude because the way how his flow and just everything just works
Gotcha.
in order. And so yeah, that's technically my legit main.
Okay, cool. We can move on. I just wanted to. I was just curious. I know I'll forget. Mine is Kazuya Lee and Heihachi.
Oh yeah. Don't forget. What's that Spanish guy? The Spanish guy.
Miguel.
Yeah, Miguel. Yeah, that dude is the ish.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So I'm sorry. Back to what you're saying, Revenant. I knew I would forget.
Oh.
So continue what you're saying.
Okay. So I found who the person who posted it. He's on YouTube. His name is Wolfheart FPS. This is what he wrote. What's that noise?
Sounds like cars in the background, maybe.
Just ignore it. There's cars in the background. Who cares? Just ignore it. You were saying Redmond.
Roll. If you're not talking, just mute your mic and just unmute it when you
Yeah.
talk. That's
All right,
it. That's
go
all you
ahead.
gotta do.
Yeah, it's just a little distracting, is all. So I'm just
Just mute your mic, and then when you
Anyway,
talk, then you can unmute it. That's it. All right. So
it'll be all good. So he wrote, 3 creators, myself included, were a bit more critical than others with our hands-on time with Dragon Age the Veilguard. Not a single one of us will be getting a review code with time to actually give opinions before release. Just thought I would throw that out there. I think he added something else. Please keep in mind, folks, that this does not mean that my more critical opinion is better or more trustful than those who have been more positive. I'm just simply pointing out how marketing works. This also doesn't mean the game will be bad, but it is something to consider.
yeah.
So that lets you know how BioWare is operating. I mean, this is not surprising. I'm sure a lot of other developers have done this before, where they'll try to ensure that people who are in any way, shape, or form critical before the game comes out, don't get their hands on a review code, because they just want positive reviews once the game comes out. So that way, people who may have not pre-ordered or even considered canceling pre-ordering will end up getting the game due to the positive reviews.
Yeah, I agree with that. I see. I think that's the tactic they're doing as well.
It's typical, because these people, they think they're so special. They do all these things to kowtow to the industry big wigs, and then all of a sudden, oh my gosh, my demo is not coming to me. So boo hoo, lick them tears.
Yeah, they got to stay sweet. They got to stay sweet with the suppliers. Otherwise, they're like you say, they're not going to get their demo. They're not going to be able to put their opinion out first, and they're not going to be able to get ahead of the crowd. They'll pretty much sell any kind of integrity out, just so they can be first.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's been the recurring theme with guys like Angry Joe and other people, where they'll say, or the man Sphere Hunter, my favorite bro who worked in the coal mines in boxes on Saturdays. That dude will say anything positive just to ensure that they keep getting special treatment for special treatment by these companies, and that they keep on getting review copies, as you said. They keep getting invited to places. They have no integrity when it comes, because technically they are game journalists, right? But in a way, whether you want to use that term or not, if your content is constantly reviewing and talking about games, then by proxy you are a game journalist, even if you're just a YouTuber or whatever. So
there's another post from the person who I had I forgot the name before the last time, about she had the playtester on her channel talking about the game. And her name is Nuhre, Nuhre. So just I'm sure people probably heard of her. She's been covering some of the
it sounds
Dragon
like
Age
viewer
stuff.
but with an N. Newer.
I'll be back.
Nuhre. All right. So she wrote, some content creators are going to be playing Veilguard early on the 28th. Just let me remind you that the only reason they can do that is because they have been good dogs and did and said exactly as they were told. Do with that information what you will. And it's true. They gotta say what they have to say to stay in the good graces of these companies, so that way they'll keep getting the early access, get flown to the studio, hotel expenses pay. I mean, if you're with in the good grace of Ubisoft, they'll probably send you to Disneyland and and all that. So they're going to do what they have to do to ensure that their relationship with these companies are stay intact. But I think someone had wrote a comment somewhere on X saying that, or maybe in a video I saw earlier today, that they want that people want to have a good relationship with a company that's going to be out the door soon anyway in BioWare.
Yeah.
But
Well, you know, what would be the
Royce,
ultimate troll.
Well,
Yeah.
what I think about is this is I know they're doing the same tactic just like Outlaw, same things like, oh, this game is perfect, they're gonna make us money. I'm like, nope, it's gonna flop again. Bullshit. Am I right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, you're
definitely
all right.
bullshit.
Yeah.
All right.
Mhm.
Shit, I'm not gonna fall for that. I'm not gonna buy that piece of crap.
As you
Shit.
shouldn't, bro. That's exactly
No,
what it is. A piece of crap.
yes, it is.
News Oak wrote Remnant and the crew. Question: Did you think Veilguard? I'm sorry. Did you think Veilguard's failure would lead to BioWare shutdown, or what other answer do you have? I think it probably will. I mean, there is the possibility they may still keep him around. I don't know why, because I mean, you think about it. Mass Effect Andromeda failed horribly. So did Anthem, and they were also making another game. I forgot, it was something Nightmare, something like that. I think we had like a closed beta for certain people, but then no one. I don't think there was any gameplay for it. There actually may have been some gameplay floating online after it had been canceled, but I think it was like some multiplayer, like third person action type of game with powers and shit like that. But that ended up getting canceled. So and then I think maybe like a year or two ago, they had some long ass fucking posts on social media about that they laid off like 80 people or something like that, or maybe 800. I don't know, maybe an 80, but they laid off a handful of people and were restructuring the studio and their methods and all that. So uh, it's not looking good for them. So I can see why the usual like YouTube shills, then the journalist hacks are gonna
Well,
be
they need content.
you know
They need
yeah,
content.
of course, yeah.
So
And also
it's directly affecting their pockets.
yeah,
So
the
of course they're gonna
media
show.
the media kissing their ass because this game obviously has the politics they align with, so they're
That
gonna
too.
prompt it up like it's like a great game. I mean, we've seen it with so many things. Like they were being critical of Unknown Nine Awakening, but at the same time saying it's so great, the character is amazing, the
They're
story and all
downplaying
sort
it.
of shit. And
They're
it's like,
downplaying how bad it
yeah,
really
they're
is.
trying to downplay it.
Yep.
Like it's so bad they can't deny it, but then they also gotta feel obligated to praise certain things that maybe more subjective in comparison. So like like how the main character or the story or any additional characters like side characters. So I mean they're gonna do the same thing with Veilguard. So that's why they're BioWare and EA, they're avoiding people from actually saying the truth about it, because people are going to be probably
They're
putting
avoiding
their
allowing people to
reviews
talk
out
about it
on the
properly.
28th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as Unknown 9 goes, you could just basically put a picture of dog shit, to show people, and then people will look and go, "Oh, it's
Yeah.
been patched."
Yup.
Right. Yeah.
This is an improvement.
Yup. I believe
Right.
BioWare downfall is beginning. They're gonna lose everything. They're gonna
Yeah.
learn the hard way.
Well,
We can only hope.
As they should.
remember that these people, again, like like even if the sad thing is even when they don't align with their politics, they still will play ball with it because they need the content. Like they could be against all the woke shit, but if all games go woke, they still need to make money reviewing games or playing games or talking about them. So they'll just turn off their any integrity that they had in order to review it, because it's not always so much that like they agree with their politics. I'm telling you, a lot of them don't, and they're just doing it because they want those copies. Because remember, you can't underestimate the amount of money
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
constant videos that get you 300K plus views. Believe it or not, that adds up. It really does add up. If you have multiple videos in a month, if you do 4 videos in a month that make like 300 or 400K views, you're getting like almost $1,000 a month, almost. You know, depending on certain factors like the CCR and like other things, but you're looking at a solid $600, $700 a month.
Yep.
So big channels that are talking about this game, like you best believe they're not going to throw that away because they're not going to let self-respect get in the way of them making money.
No, definitely not.
Yeah,
I
and
agree.
That's a good point you
right.
said about the new trailer, which even without the woke shit, the political crap that they got in the game, it still looks like a bad game. Like overall, like the combat and everything, and just which for me as an RPG fan, it turns me off. Like I would rather play Inquisition or maybe some other like game. Like shit, I would probably rather play Baldur's Gate 3, even though I won't. But I'm just saying, um, it's so like detached from what Dragon Age used to be. Like in my video with Dragon Age, it's like I had like parts of the trailer for Origins, and it's such a stark contrast of the two, where it's like it's mind-boggling, like what this team thought would actually like be seen as a good Dragon Age game after 10 years of not having one.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't get, honestly, I'm gonna be frank. I'm not like a huge Dragon Age guy. Like I played some of Origins. I know I played some of Dragon Age 2, very little. I don't think that, for me personally, I don't think that game series was anything special. And I honestly feel like they've gone downhill with each game. Like literally each game is worse than the last game. So I kind of don't understand like why people like show for this game series. They act like it's bigger than it is when really it only had one game that was like truly considered great, which was Origins.
It's funny actually, because the parallel that you mentioned, we haven't had a good Dragon Age for 10 years. It's kind of like why I think the original Dragon Age sold so well. It's because they hadn't had a good CRPG for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Last one he did was what, like Baldur's Gate 2?
Yes.
Before
Baldur's
that,
Gate 2.
Yeah, and maybe Divinity or some of those games, maybe.
No, that was Larian that made.
Oh, that was Larian. Okay, I retract my statement. But still, like Dragon Age has 4 games so far, including Veilguard, right? Am I correct there? And
say that again.
They had 4 games in the series, with Veilguard
including
being there.
they had
including
Origins
Veilguard
2 and Inquisition. So yeah, Veilguard's the 4th one.
So in all those games, and within all those games, the only true hit was the first game. So how is this even a series people are hyped for? I never understood that. Even Dragon Age fans would constantly complain. Even people that like those games would complain how each game was worse or watered down within their own community that's supposed to like them. So
Inquisition
this
kind of improved on where like 2 like faltered, but even then it was still no Origins though. That's the thing. Like it was like, in a way you can say it was like going in the right direction somewhat, especially compared to 2. But even then, again, it's not Origins. I think that one sold pretty well, and but I don't know if it did better than Origins. But who knows? I mean, then again, you think about, people try to compare like sales for games from like so many years ago compared to like now, or even a few years ago. It's like, it was completely different. Gaming has grown since then. So I mean, you have more casuals and normies and all that than before. So
I appreciate Baldur's Gate 3 because it introduced old mechanics, like old RPG mechanics, in a new, more polished way. It didn't just throw the baby out with the bathwater. You gotta give him props for that. You gotta give him big old pats on the back.
I don't think the combat. Let me rephrase that. I don't think that the gameplay is a problem with Baldur's Gate 3. I think people are more annoyed by like, I guess, the political shit surrounding it.
I guess.
Yeah, that's mainly the complaint that I've heard from it.
For the most part, that's really what it is.
But like the sex with the bear thing, I just thought that was just.
Well, not even just that. Like goblin toes and a lot of like heavy like play into like LGBT ideology and crap like that. Like I think that's really and because I like so here's the thing. Like I'll be the first one to say that something isn't like considered woke just because it has gay characters, just because it has like characters of other races or whatever that doesn't matter, that are non-whites. That's not what makes a game woke. But I think that if you're marketing your game and you're like heavily emphasizing like, oh, you can sleep with bears, like look, you can suck goblin toes or whatever the hell they're doing, I think that that's a clear indicator of where they're going with the game series.
Yo,
What's up,
Yeah.
White Two?
y'all can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Royce, no
Oh, all
problem.
right. Okay.
Tell your friend happy birthday.
Just making sure. Yeah,
Oh,
but
happy birthday, friend.
yeah, my thoughts about this whole Dragon Age thing. Obviously, whoever say that the sales are up is obviously getting paid by BioWare or whatever, if they have any money left at this point, because holy shit.
It's kind of funny though, because like, wasn't there something? I think I mentioned last week. Also, I can hear myself. What's that
Yeah, I can
about?
hear myself too. There's a bit of
Yeah,
echo.
there's an echo.
Hold on, I think it does. I think that's on my side. Hold on, let me see.
Yeah,
Do you have a
yeah.
headset connected, Y2?
Nah, unfortunately.
That's why.
Yeah, you just need to like mute yourself, and then when you
Alright.
unmute yourself when you want to talk.
Let me
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
I'm good.
All right, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
obviously the audio from the speaker is filtering through to your mic, bro. That's why when you have it with no headphones, you can hear yourself talk. Well, you can hear echoes rather.
Oops.
So yeah, what were you
I
saying?
forgot.
No name.
I don't know. I've completely forgotten.
He was saying that Baldur's Gate 3 is full of woke BS, and he ain't down with the gay stuff.
yeah, that's it. Yeah, I was.
But no, like, look, I just want to go back to Baldur's Gate 3 real quick, since we lost track of it. I don't mind that you have those things in the game, but when you look at the people involved, the way it's marketed or whatever, like, it's just a thing where it tells me their intention, and that's enough for me to know that there's gonna be some form of BS in there.
Oh, I remembered
Yeah.
now. Wasn't I think I said it last week. I don't know if you caught it, but they were giving away free copies of Failguard.
Oh yeah, I
with
remember.
various different graphics cards.
Yeah, from Nvidia. Yeah, if you
yeah,
subscribe to I think 5 months of GeForce.
that was it. Yeah. So the
Yeah.
fact that now suddenly the pre-order numbers have gone up. I mean,
I wonder why.
it might be a
Yeah,
bit of
right.
might be slight correlation between the
Some
two.
people are like, oh, well,
Maybe.
what was that? They're like, oh, what was that game? Black Myth Wukong. They did the same thing with that. Yeah, difference is that game was doing well and actually doing well in pre-orders, and obviously sold very well. And there was general excitement towards it. Well, with Veilguard, or the last game that was doing that shit, which was Unknown 9 Awakening, where with Veilguard, there's not a lot of excitement, like honest to true excitement about the game.
Honest
the
to
most
God,
part.
good
There's a
old
lot of
fashioned
mixed-
fun.
Yeah.
Did anyone see
So
Unknown 9?
there's a lot of
like,
negative, like mixed and negative, like reception thus far.
Did anyone actually see Unknown 9 gameplay?
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
I
think-
did.
I don't
Yeah,
think the
yeah,
enemies
I-
had any.
I
I don't
sent
think
links
the
to
enemies had any
Those
collision.
videos.
Oh,
are
what was that?
freaking
What was that?
hilarious.
What was
I
that
don't
name?
think.
No, I
I
said-
don't think the. Oh god.
Those
There's a
things are
delay.
hilarious. You should see those.
I don't think the enemies had any collision with the world, because they kind of die and then they just kind of hover slightly above the ground. It's a fucking dog's dinner.
No, nobody will
Oh my
notice.
god.
They're being
yeah.
raptured. No one will notice them being raptured.
Yes, they're being taken to the firmaments where they'll be free from this stupid game that has a character that looks like she's on constant Botox.
It's kind of weird.
Really
It's
does.
kind of
Yeah.
weird because the actress herself in real life, while she's not like a world, like it's not like she's like the most beautiful actress I've ever seen, but she definitely looks better than what they did to her in the game. Like,
not the look. It's just the idea of the animation for her
Yeah.
facial expressions.
yeah, it's
It's
stiff.
non-existent.
It is so
And
weird.
there is a older guy that accompanies her, and he
Oh, the
has
white cuff,
more
yeah.
character. It's so weird because here's the thing that kind of bothers me. When I was looking at some of the cutscenes, it came off as if this was a different game. There was a different character because there is this older male character that accompanies her. And the way how he talks and how she talks, it sounds like it's like two different recordings. It doesn't come off as they're trying to build some chemistry. It's like he was
Yeah,
talking
because
with somebody else.
Not to
Yeah,
mention that
because-
she talks down to him in the script. She talks
yeah,
down to him
constantly.
like because
Like,
I don't need your
"Look,
help.
Follow me, or I
Because
kill
girl
you."
power. Because
I
girl
don't need-
power, brother.
I don't need your help. I will complete the venture on my own.
Yeah, and what's with all this accent stuff? Because here's the thing: these are the same people that says, "Hey, that character Apu has a voice that's too stereotypical," right?
I was about to
But
mention
here's
that.
the thing:
Mhm.
this girl,
I know Indians. Listen.
like-
Let
Yeah.
me tell you guys something. I know Indians in real life. I know Indians that I'm friends with, that I go to the gym. They're nice guys. That accent is not stereotypical. Motherfuckers really sound like that.
It's not.
Really,
It's-
truly.
Where I
Truly,
live, there's like so
truly
many
they sound
like
like that.
Indians running stores. Like it's like
It's not fake.
it's-
It's not a
it's
stereo.
not-
But
it's
people
not-
think
yeah, it's
people
not- it's
think
not
oh
fake at all.
it's offensive and shit. No, the Indians that don't speak proper English sound exactly like that. I'm sorry if that hurts people's feelings because it's funny. It's easy to make fun of, but it's the reality. They sound like that. They talk just like that. A lot of them, unless they know,
Yeah.
unless they've been here for a while, and it does fade. I'm not saying everyone does, but most
Real quick,
people-
how about audio sound?
yeah. All those people, unfortunately, a lot of them that are straight from those countries, they know like English, but they have a thick accent. They sound like Apu. They really do. It's not fake.
They do. No,
It's
it's
not.
100%.
It's not fake. I don't care if it hurts people's feelings. Like, just live in reality.
I'm from the
That's
UK.
it.
I know what an Indian
It's like the
sounds
Spanish
like.
accent. I speak Spanish, but you know what? That shit sounds funny sometimes. It sounds funny when you know you're a Spanish speaker, you learn English, and you're pronouncing words in a way that's not correct. It sounds funny. Tough titties. It's funny when having a funky accent is comedy. Unfortunately.
You're right.
I couldn't help but do Apu impressions all the way through the demo. I just kept doing Apu impressions.
Thank you. Come again.
Help it. Yeah, no, it's just like use the power and then you can go forward into the veil. It's like,
Yeah.
oh.
Oh, goodness.
yeah, and
You
the
know,
thing
she
is,
should drink a squishy to regenerate her health.
right.
That would make me buy the game, actually, if you could do that. If
Yeah.
Apu was a cast member, I would buy the game.
But here's the other
Please
thing
have this
about her
squishy. It'll
voice.
regenerate your health.
Right.
Would you
And
like a
here's the
squishy?
other thing. I'm sorry. And here's the other thing about her voice. Okay, so you heard the origin, the Prince of Persia, the good one, right? Not like the other one we're going to be talking about. So the Sands of Time, the way how he sound, they balanced his voice. You can tell that he's supposed to have a Middle Eastern accent, but at the same time, they didn't make it so extreme that you're like, huh? What? Say that again? You know, and it's just like, that's one of the problems with this character's voice. And also, it's just like I said, her face looked like she got Botox. You know, I mean,
Yeah,
I got more expression
she
than
didn't know when to
her.
stop.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's just like it comes off as the way how she is. You don't want to play as her. That's the other problem too.
She's a bitch.
Because, yeah, she's a bitch. She's a straight up bitch.
I don't need your help. I don't need your help. I will kick
Right,
shit.
right.
Well, you
She sounds
know
like she
who
doesn't want
the
to
writers
be
were for it. The writers at
Yeah.
Sweet Baby Inc. being one of the I forgot his name. He's one of the co-founders of the company, and Kim Belair. So it makes sense.
Oh.
Yeah.
You
No,
have shitty writing and a terrible written character, and you got fucking NPCs talking, and when it's translated, they're fucking ordering coffee and talking about chicken and
Yeah.
shit like that.
Yep.
and you got the
And-
same looking
yeah.
characters that are
And
fucking 5
Biryani.
feet away
And
from you.
Biryani.
I'm fucking sick and tired of this
Yeah.
whole we back bullshit. Like, no, we ain't.
You
Like,
fucking
Well, it shows you
It's
that they
like you
themselves
saw-
are pretty
you
like
saw-
are pretty like they themselves are like stereotypical and they themselves they expose themselves to what they think these people talk like because they're talking about biryani
Yeah.
chicken and like fucking like Indian shit.
Yes.
It's like all right, I guess this is all these
random
it's like
shit.
it would be like in a game where like all the black people in the game were just talking about fried chicken and watermelon. And you're like, what the fuck? Who wrote
And
this?
they sound like this, like a chocolate
Yeah,
watermelon and all
yeah,
that kind of
yeah.
stuff.
Yes,
we can
ma'am.
keep up
Yes,
working
ma'am.
shit.
I'll drive you, ma'am. Yes,
Yeah. Yes,
oh
ma'am.
yes, man.
it's fucked up, man. Like it's so fucked up. or like a Hispanic character, all they're talking about is like various Mexican foods or Latino foods or
Wait,
whatever.
wait,
It's
wait.
like,
I got it. Hey,
bachata
amigo, with the gas of tequila. Ay,
Yeah.
ay, ay.
Yeah, that's what they're.
Everyone's like George Lopez.
Yeah.
Don't
that's
wake
right.
me up. I'm trying to sleep.
Yes,
Tranquilo.
I'm the one
Oh,
guy who
shit.
sleeps under the sign, you know,
Oh, yeah.
Yup.
with the giant sombrero that is like there's like 3 people living in the village or something like that.
Right. Like
Gotta also have, gotta have the chihuahua there too.
Right. Yeah.
You know what's
This is-
funny?
this
We're
is
supposed to be talking
funny.
about Dragon Age, and it's like so disinteresting that it's fucking. We'll just talk about Unknown 9 and just
it's
fucking
right.
talking shit about it.
I mean, just like that's the thing, though. Is it like Failguard? It's literally just the same shit we've been seeing for the past 5 years. Even in like artistry, it's purple. It's fucking purple again. Everything is purple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
With the
They
yo,
went with the Fortnite colors.
tutorial style.
Yeah, I don't understand the purple. I don't. Is it meant to be some kind of like pride
I
thing
mean-
or something? I don't know.
I
last
think
time-
so.
I think,
That's what it seems like to me.
I
What are you saying,
think
White?
they did like green for Inquisition, right? I don't know.
Inquisition, yeah. But the thing was, it was a darker green. Here, it's like
Yeah.
everything's so bright and vibrant. It's like, where the hell is the dark fantasy that was always in the other games? You can even
Yeah,
say,
right.
all right, 2's art style was ass. They fucked that up, especially the dark spawn, how they made them look. But at
The
least it
art
was
style,
still
yeah.
dark. It was
Yeah, but the art style in here looks cartoonish. In my
It does. You know what it reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of the Saints Row reboot in a way.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and it reminds me of Far Cry New Dawn, and it reminds me of Rage 2, and it reminds
you
me
know,
of
when I think
List
about
of Games.
that game, like, getting nauseated. But
Yeah. Don't know what.
that too.
I don't know why they would. Wait, who made the Rage series again? Was it
Was
EA?
It was
The who?
id originally.
Oh, all right, yeah. So, I
Which
forgot
would
who developed the second one, but
And the
Oh,
second one, Avalanche Studios.
Yeah.
And
Wait, hold on.
Bethesda.
Didn't they make another game that was ass? I forgot what it's called. Was it? They was they got shut down recently, right? Avalanche Studio.
I don't know if Avalanche got shut down, but they made the Just Cause games, if that's what you're referring to.
I think I got confused with the other Avalanche Studio. I forgot what it's called, but damn.
The Mad Max game?
Yeah. Wait. I don't know. I mean, I haven't tried that Mad Max game. I got confused with damn. It's so many studios that have been closed down that make god awful games. This year alone, but I forgot which one. But we talk about Unknown 9, right?
We
So-
kind of
the-
deviated towards that because Dragon
So-
Age fucking Veilguard is fucking ass.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I
but
mean,
yeah.
like, 2 stars for the
It's
one,
gonna do very well. Someone was even telling me, Star Wars Outlaws and Starfield did very well. They were successful. I'm like, okay, if you say so.
Oof.
Yeah, that's what all of them say. Like, oh, they just hyping up the next big thing, and
They think a million sales in a month is great for a game with fucking hundreds of $1 million in budget and marketing.
It just means that in a game could sell well early on because people think it because the hype or whatever, but then the sales can decline within the following weeks, meaning that the game will still sell poorly overall.
yeah,
So people think that they'll say that they'll be like, oh, the game sold well. Oh, it sold 1 million copies on the first day. Okay, but then the following weeks it's declined, so they don't make back what they spent on the game. That's not a success.
yeah, it's definitely not.
People they pick and choose
Having
the
to
metrics they
explain
want to
that
go
to
by.
people, it shows the audience that's the audience these companies want. People who don't understand that and don't want to listen to actual facts and logic based on what's going on, because they want to talk about, oh, well, it did very well, and people can explain like, no, it didn't. Here's why, and they still want to act delusional and retarded because they got to support, the shiny new thing for the month.
Yeah, they just saying that because it's like a brand name attached to it, or this
Yeah,
and this on this.
brand loyalty, brand
Yeah.
loyalty.
Despite
That's what it is.
how Star Wars, no matter how shitty Star Wars have been, they still want to buy. They still want to hype up their next product. Like,
Well, look at Dustborn and Unknown 9 had no brand recognition, and guess what happened? Both those games flopped hardcore.
yep,
And Concord.
And Concord, without the brand recognition, they're not saved.
yeah,
There's
yeah, true.
did everybody forget about
People
Hyenas?
think
What was that?
Hyenas.
No name.
Hyenas was a game that didn't even
Oh
get
yeah,
to
yeah.
release.
Okay, there you go. I never heard of that shit in my life.
That shit was
yeah, what?
terrible. I think my brother have an invitation to play that game, but I think the Bears has closed before he has the chance to play it. Yeah, so yeah, that's how bad it was.
Was Hyenas that hero shooter that was kind of like a Sega version of Concord?
Yes.
Yeah,
There we go. Yeah, I remember
Sounds
seeing
terrible.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
They had
I've never heard of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
one of the characters they have,
the character.
of course, they show cleavage and
Oh.
stuff, but it turns out to be a dude.
Yeah,
So of
it
course they're
was.
gonna do that. But the
It's a
game got
drag queen.
It was a drag queen.
circus
Yes.
clown.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
Oh god.
yeah.
Oh god.
Of course.
I seen it. It was.
You know what shocks me about Unknown 9? They took an actress that already looked mid and shouldn't have been playing Yennefer, and then they made her somehow look worse. And I think that's like true
I mean, in the
talent.
show, she was brought on to play as Jennifer because the director even said like she didn't look that good.
Yeah. I mean, she's not the worst woman I've ever seen, but she definitely is not like Yennefer level. Like Yennefer, I don't know if you guys played The Witcher 3,
Not at all.
but that was total disrespect to Yennefer.
Yeah.
So,
It
like
was.
they take a character like that, and again, I'm not going to pretend she's the worst woman I've ever seen, but she's mid. She is literally the definition of mid. And you take a woman that's already mid and you make her look worse.
Yeah.
They gave her
It's like-
they gave her the man jaw treatment as well. And I'm like, damn, I thought her
Mhm.
jaw was already kind of square, and they doubled down.
Wait,
they made it worse.
Y'all saw gameplay to
Yeah.
Unknown 9, right?
Yeah, it looked terrible. It was
Yeah, we
also
saw
buggy.
the glitches and cutscenes and the terrible facial animations and everything, and
The best
her
spot
being
in my-
a fucking Indian girl boss.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? A lot of people in the games industry that are like programmers and like they work in background roles, a lot of them are actually Indian. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of like self-inserts amongst the studio as well.
Yeah. But didn't that wait, I thought it took place in the Middle East. Unknown 9, right?
Was that?
I think so, right?
Middle
That's what it looks
East
like.
and Middle East and India, they're kind of they're pretty much separated from the set of nations like the Pakistan, Kazakhstan,
Yeah.
Uzbekistan, Stan. Joking about the last one, but yeah, there is a division between Pakistan, India, and the general Middle
Yeah.
East. But the thing is, technically the Middle East is part of Asia, but for whatever reason they didn't want to be part of Asia. But ironically, the name Asia refers to
Yeah.
Persian, so they're technically all connected. But when it comes to cultural, the India, the Middle East, of course you have the Muslims, and then of course you have the Hindus, and it's more
Yeah.
it's
you have
more than
Arabs.
just
You have
geographical,
Arabs,
it's also
Hindus.
religious. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
but
religious
I'm trying to
aspect.
figure out.
Well, Muslim is just a religion, right? We're talking about like
yeah,
Arabic,
Yeah.
Arabics and whatnot. But
Muslims is the name of the people that practice Islam,
yes,
and
yes,
yeah, yeah,
I know. Trust me,
and
I'm saying, but I'm
Arabs.
saying Arab
Mhm.
is like the countrymen. So for example,
Oh,
like in Saudi Arabia, you have the Arabs, but they can have they're a lot of they're Muslim countries in the sense that they're they're heavily Muslim influenced. It's like part of government as well.
Yeah.
But then
oh
you
yeah,
have
yeah.
but they themselves are not necessarily like Muslim. They're Arabs. They're
Well,
Arabs that are Muslims.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is that the Middle East before Islam showed up, they had a whole lot of different
Yes, tribal
spiritual
religions.
beliefs. Yeah,
Yeah.
different spiritual beliefs
I
and
only
stuff like
know
that.
because my mom had converted to Islam when I'm younger, so I know a lot about Islam. Like yeah, they have like a lot of they have it was a tribalistic they had tribal like pagan religious beliefs before,
Right,
before
right,
they had
right,
Islam. So
right. And then
I'm
of
not
course,
Muslim by the way, for the record, anyone watching, I'm not Muslim. But
right.
yeah, like
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
but
saying
yeah,
that
yeah, like that's one of those
like
things.
where unknown non took place.
yeah, like I said, it's like around India, but also other places like Bangladesh and all those
And
other Southeast Asian countries. Uh,
Punjabi, yeah.
Oh, all right.
yeah, but that's supposed to be that general area. But the thing is that how can I say this? How can I say this? The thing is about it is that the characters, of course, they have to go and give the women some kind of masculine kind of clothing or whatever, and all this kind of and the character designs. I don't know what it is, but you look at it and you're like, they're trying to be creative, but at the same time, it's just like it's the colors are too
Like trash
dull to
work.
be Indian. If you ever
Yeah.
seen, especially how Indian women dress, the amount of colors that they have available to them and the techniques of their textiles, some of the textiles techniques from Europe came from India, like
Yes.
the bandana, those patterns that the bandana, like the West
Yeah.
Coast gangs like the Crips and Bloods,
Yeah, they're
that
Indian.
pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Indian.
Yeah.
And then of course the
Sure.
British liked it, and they used it for like different things or whatever, and it was associated with royalty at a time. And so the thing about the game is that it's funny that they're trying to tap into India, but at the same time it just looks it's
Well,
dead.
if they have color and beauty, that's gonna negate their message, which is
Oh
that
yeah,
she's not meant to be beautiful or have any appeal. She's meant to be, choppy looking. She's
Yep.
not. It's not like, and they're having a more colorful outfit, making her look, which would just make her look more pleasant in general. Would
So what we're saying
that's a
is
no.
resting bitch face manjaw is the new burqa. Okay, I get it. Nice.
pretty much, yeah.
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 This guy here.
You remember SpongeBob? My eyes. That's me when with teasing.
Yeah.
But yeah, like they don't want any color, any femininity. I mean, that game basically shows you they're like, that's a you could study that game in a way because it shows you their entire philosophy. I think there's a little bit of like all of it in that game. Being a girl boss, women not being able to be that attractive, making the game based around a foreign character because the characters being white now is somehow offensive. All those things combined. That's basically like it's a good poster child for what to expect from these modern game developers.
All right, Neozoic. Thanks for stopping by and leaving your comments. Really appreciate
Catch you
it.
later.
So,
Catch you later, Neo.
yeah, have a good night.
See you later.
But yeah, like it's true what you're saying, and it's kind of funny because the Indians have a very storied history with the British, and
They do.
and there's so much that they could have done with that environment. I mean, like, and it's kind of a shame because there are some Indian women that are like absolutely beautiful. They're like some gorgeous Indian women, that exist.
Some of the best in the world.
Yeah, there are some truly beautiful really attractive Indian women. Like you see a lot of it in Bollywood. You'll see a lot of gorgeous women, and to go the route they did in the game is like such a travesty, such a disservice because you're trying to make a game multicultural, but then it's like black characters. You ever notice that there's beautiful black women, but then in the games they always try to make them look ugly. They try to make them look like someone's auntie, and I'm like, there are attractive black women that don't look like they're a mother of 6, like in their 50s. They don't all look like Deborah Wilson. Like same thing with Indian women. Why they have to look so fucking weird in these games? If you're gonna display another culture, at least portray them in a beautiful way that's flattering. And again, people will weaponize stuff like this and say, "Oh, you're just mad because they're not white." It's like no one said they have to be fucking white.
Name a more popular video game character than Deborah Wilson.
Right? I call her Bug Out. I call her Praying Mantis Bug Lady.
Yeah, Bug Eyes.
Yeah, and the other thing
you know what's weird about her? Hold on, I want to say something funny about Deborah Wilson. In Mad TV, she played a character named Bunifa, who was like this really ghetto, like it's fucking hilarious.
I remember.
But she actually had sex appeal as that character. So even Deborah Wilson doesn't have to look fucking totally disgusting in games. But it's like, so even then it's kind of even more hilarious. I'm not saying she's super attractive, but even she can look nice if they really wanted to.
I think she's a good actor. She's a decent actor. That's about it, really.
I can't take her seriously past Mad TV, to be honest. She's an okay actor, but really to me, I just see her as a
Mad
TV cast member. Mad TV cast member.
Yeah.
I
now,
think
if she was in a game as Bunifa, but younger, aged down,
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you got something there. Maybe I'll play it. But
maybe she'll be in Saints Row 5. Eh?
Listen. In Saints Row 5,
she wasn't in the reboot.
No more. No mas.
No mas.
Yeah.
But when it comes to her, I have a theory why they pick her so much. It's not just she is ESG friendly. She probably might be a good person to work with because a lot of these voice actors in general are a bunch of divas. They don't show up to work early, and Say it again.
What?
Yeah, sorry, I have noise going on in the background. My fault.
Oh, okay.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, I think that she's easy to work with, and people like to work with her, and because reputation is super important in American business. So, if she was a total B word and unbearable, then people wouldn't hire her. So, but I don't know. I think sometimes they've just made her just deliberately just. Ugh.
Well, they definitely did it deliberately. There's no question that they deliberately did it. I mean, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. Wolfenstein, the new Colossus, was that the second one? I believe that was the one with her in it. That shit is unbelievable. That game is unbelievable. I can't believe that game exists in the way that it does. That game is
the nerve to make a semi sequel with the 2 lesbian daughters or whatever the fuck they were.
That game, and I shit you not, that game outside of Dustborn might take the record for the most woke game I've ever played of all time. Outside of a game like Dustborn, I think it really takes the cake as like the crown jewel in a pile of shit of woke games. Like
It's peak Captain Swede.
yes,
It
yes,
really is.
it game is I can't believe it. And like and on top of that, that game exposes the action. Like it's funny because the game is supposed to have an anti-racist message, but it actually shows you how racist the writers of the game are, which is crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
I did like that
so-
part where that guy's trying to like talk about like the pros of communism, and then BJ just bitch slaps him and just just completely destroys him on the matter.
And ironically, and the irony is that nowadays those same people are now communist.
Yeah.
Or they're not self-aware that they're communist. Because I mean, like, I'm not going to be one of those people that calls everyone a commie, but the kind of socialism being pushed today on modern society is basically like a step away from communism. It's
Yeah,
like right there. It's right there.
Yeah, these are the same dumbasses that keep calling Trump Hitler, but
Oh yeah.
Hitler is a surname. Anybody could have been a Hitler. But if you're
Well-
talking about the man, you're talking about Adolf. That's his name. You should be saying whoever is Adolf, not whoever is Hitler. Hitler
They're taking the Japanese approach.
Japanese
yeah.
approach. Where are we going with that?
Well, because like they'll
Last name
introduce themselves.
first name.
Last name first because of formality, right? So somebody whose name is like Dan Suzaki or whatever, they'll call him Suzaki-san, or they'll formally refer to him as Suzaki primarily.
Right, but it shows the it's like, I wouldn't really say cognitive dissonance, but that is kind of like the same.
Well, that is what it is. It is cognitive dissonance.
Yeah.
Because they don't realize that they're communist. They're talking. They say they're anti-commie, but then they're communists.
Well, what I mean is when I'm saying cognitive dissonance in terms of you're right about that part, but it's also the idea that, like I said, they keep
about him being Hitler.
Yeah, they keep calling Trump Hitler, but they know if they're supposed to be taken seriously, they're supposed to know that Hitler's first name was Adolf, right? So they're supposed to be the people that we are supposed to be listening to, right? They know what they're talking about, but they don't know what they're talking about. These are the same people that want to tell you everything what to do. So, like I said,
I agree with that.
It's just the whole industry is run by idiots that should not be taken seriously at all.
Well, I'm gonna add something to what you said. I do agree with you. I think that also what's also cognitively dissonant about it is that they attribute the traits of their own party onto Hitler, onto Trump, and I had a Freudian slip because you made me think about it. But they attribute Trump and Republicans with being authoritarian, but it's the left that are trying to control speech. It's them trying to censor everything. It's them trying to tell people it's them trying to tell people how to think and talk. So who is really the authoritarian regime that is trying to push that's taking these cues from Hitler? Is it the Republican who wants more government out of people's personal lives and fix the economy and care about our country firsthand, or is it the people trying to control free speech by controlling via censorship and controlling what you can say? Like, it's just kind of funny because like they don't even realize that they're so caught in like the political trap of like, oh well, the media told me this, the media told me that they don't think for themselves. I mean, look at the economy. And I know no name. I don't know if you live in the U.S. or not, because some people are from the UK, but they live in the U.S. But the economy has been destroyed in the last 3 to 4 years. It's gotten so crazy bad somehow, and it's kind of funny because you can say what you want, but again, you can say a person is an authoritarian or Hitler or whatever, but he's not the one who's pushing open borders. He's not the one who wants illegals to vote. He's not the one who wants to who is using taxpayer money to to fund all these programs and raise costs. He's not the one who has gotten the economy this bad. So again, like I'm not saying that people have to be pro-Trump or anything. I'm just saying that if you think about it on a surface level and just look at the last 4 years of Trump versus Biden, it's kind of clear who's really pushing the authoritarian shit and who's not.
Yeah, and
If you want,
So
A,
if you want to-
a government for the people doesn't hire more IRS agents while simultaneously letting illegal immigrants in. That shit should
Yeah.
be considered
yeah, there we
treason.
go.
That should
I'll,
be considered treason.
we
I'll
should
just say
probably get
this.
in.
And then I'll just say this: look, if you want to find the enemies of the people, just look at the parties and the governments that want to consolidate power. That's it. That's all you've got to
Yes.
go. Go and find them.
Exactly.
You have
Yep.
your answer.
Yep,
Well said.
that's what's up. All right.
agree.
So is
so-
Waiting for
Failguard
No
still
Name's
on the
YouTube channel.
agenda?
No name.
Is Failguard still
No
on
name
the
means have his own
agenda?
YouTube channel.
No,
Huh?
No name means
Yeah.
his own YouTube channel.
maybe I do. I
Wait,
don't know. My first video: why Silent Hill 2, why Silent Hill OG is the best, and you were wrong. Don't even at me. That's the
Yeah.
full title.
There you go.
That's
There
a
you
good.
go.
That's a good title.
You-
See, you got it.
You could write a title that says "Don't be gay." Silent Hill 2 is gay.
Yeah.
And that will get you a lot of traction.
Yeah.
Right.
Unique
what's
So,
on
will
the agenda?
never be.
That'll work the
unique.
algorithm, all right.
Sorry. Remakes will never be unique. That will get you so much hate.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
So,
that'll work the
That is
algorithm.
funny.
let's
but yeah,
Rev,
Yeah, we can move on.
to the next topic. We all agree that Veilguard is not going to be much of a it's not going to be much of a success. Hold on, let me try it again.
Oh, sorry about that. I'm back.
Veilguard is screwed.
But, we can all agree that Veilguard will not be much of a success. There you go. I got it.
Nope.
Veilguard is screwed.
Nope.
All right.
Gone.
And when
Dead.
it fails, get ready for the incels and Chud's fault.
Yeah, the coping.
Yeah, exactly.
Coping
That's what they're gonna
mechanism.
pull. Yeah, but
I think
here's the thing. Since those people said that they didn't get the demo, they're probably most likely not gonna show up in defense since they didn't get the demo. So we gotta see that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Prostitutes.
So, what's up, Benjamin? Benjamin Bartran. I think I said that right. Unless I'm reading it
Welcome
wrong.
in.
Anyway,
Vivette.
so
Cocktaila.
let's move on to remember we're running low on stream bucks. Prince of Floyd, the Lost Fentanyl. I mean Prince of Persia, the Lost Crown. The dev studio was shut down recently by Ubisoft, and unfortunately, this team was handed the keys to make that game, and obviously didn't do too well, despite a lot of people claiming it was a very good game or whatever. But it's bullshit. But they were also the team that did the Rayman games and also the first Beyond Good and Evil game.
Oh, that does change
So-
things.
Yeah. I actually found that out. Probably the same day I had put the stream up, the schedule for today, and yes, pretty unfortunate. So you may want to get some of the Rayman games or whatever games they made before people jack them up in prices online.
That's
Or
pretty
delist them completely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
in case you want to get like the physical copies of the games or whatever. But yeah, I don't know if anyone here on the chat have played the game, the last Prince of Persia game, the Lost Crown or whatever. But
I haven't.
Yeah.
It
No.
looks
Yeah.
absolutely ass.
Like
It
a
does.
cell phone game.
Fine, I'll play it.
It
Yeah.
does really look like it looks like a 3DS game.
it does. And
Like,
you
but
got
not
the
like
Killmonger
not a
hair.
good not a good 3DS game like shovelware 3DS game.
Yeah, and now one of the since Revenant mentioned who was part of the development team, the irony of having old school developers in the game is not always a certainty for success, especially when the software is updated
True.
and the computers are updated. So it's unfortunate, but that's one of those things, because when you hear, like, let's say Shigeru Miyamoto, right? I always bring him up. Iwata's not with us, unfortunately. But Iwata was pretty good good in terms of programming, because he helped made Smash Brothers Smash Brothers the game it is. But the thing is that the it's like this. It's like this. So I don't care what anybody says about him, right? So when Doc was part of the development team for some of the maps, multiplayers for one of those Call of Duty games, I can't remember. It's too many of them. He was saying, I proposed an idea, and then all of a sudden the top people said nope. And also it's just the same thing. It's like people, when they get employed into these companies, it's all compartmentalized. You have a good idea, like even that artist that talked about he would make a beautiful black woman, and then all of a sudden auntie at the end, right? So that's one of the problems also with having and staff members in general. Just the whole modern gaming development it's a mess. It's a disaster.
Too many
a
cooks
mess.
in the kitchen.
Too much, and too much politics. Too many females got something to prove, and too many of these cucks trying to kowtow and impress the ladies.
Well, that sounds more like a simp, but yeah,
simp
cucks.
Right, trying to impress her, impress the lady, and impress his wife and her boyfriend. So
he bought his wife's boyfriend a PS5 for Christmas.
Yeah.
Yep.
Got too many destinies in the dev teams.
All right, so I'm gonna let y'all talk.
With the whole Prince of Persia thing, oh no, let me just, I don't know much about this, like, the studio, but I do know what's the pattern, all that shit, with all these studios that keep making half-ass games and shit like that, keeps closing down, like, a whole lot, since the, 3 or 2 past years. And at the end of the day, they're gonna blame everybody else for their mistakes. Like I was saying about the whole Dragon Age thing like a while back, if they're gonna keep making the same mistakes and expecting a different result.
It's the definition of insanity, after all.
Yeah, and I'm really sick and tired of that gay ass haircut. No offense to people that's gay. I ain't got nothing against it, but just that haircut looks so goddamn stupid. As a black dude,
but it looks gay. It definitely looks gay. It just looks gay. It looks feminine.
It really just like I don't even know who will wear that in real life. Like, what goes through somebody's head when they have that hairstyle? You know what I mean?
But it goes through their mind is if they're a woman or not.
Yeah, but with the studios closing down because they keep making half-ass games, is, well, what to expect? I mean, the only ones that probably won't close down, is the other bigger companies, because people will still buy their shit. But with this was a small company, so it had to be closed down because it wasn't making enough. So that's my opinion about this whole thing.
No, you're right. They got to keep the bigger companies around, get rid of the small ones, and then because they're gonna put the blame on the small teams, and then try to make sure they don't put any responsibility on the bigger teams that are usually the ones eating up most of the budgets and the marketing and all that. So
Yep.
I think it's
It's just a
a good
virtual
thing.
sacrifice.
I think it's a good thing for that development team, because I feel like that development team's always been something that Ubisoft has they've used their creations, they've used their games as like they held them hostage. Like, oh, if you don't buy this Rayman game, or this Rayman collection or whatnot, then there won't be enough money to make Beyond Good and Evil 2. We've had that for like 10, 15 years now. It's
Mhm.
ridiculous.
You know,
I'm
just
I'm glad
say
they're
y'all like
been released.
it is Ubisoft too, so
Yeah, no, I
I'll leave
agree.
that.
It's good thing that they're not there anymore because they don't have to be held hostage, which I'm sure in a way, they were, because I mean they made a the last Rayman game did well from what I know of, and they haven't that the last time there was a new one, it came out in 2013, and they haven't done anything with that since. They're probably Ubisoft's probably thinking how they can make into an open world RPG grind fest for 50 hours with a bunch of woke shit in it. So they couldn't figure that out. That's
Yeah.
probably why you haven't seen another Splinter Cell game. But they could probably figure they'll probably find a way to emasculate Sam Fisher in the remake.
Yep, that's a guaranteed. And
Oh yeah. Wait till you see what they do to Grimm's daughter.
right.
God.
A hot redhead.
Well,
Right.
pardon my French,
That's
real
criminal,
quick.
sir. That's
You
criminal.
You mean his black adopted daughter?
Yeah.
But what was that no name? I didn't hear you.
Oh,
I mean, yeah, pardon my French, but if considering this is Ubisoft we're talking about, right? If Beyond Good and Evil 2 wasn't good enough, because like we saw like little previews of it, didn't we? And it looked like it was going to push the the diversity inclusion thing pretty hard.
Mhm.
And Ubisoft doesn't care what quality a game is released in. They don't give a shit. They make Ubisoft. They don't make games. They make Ubisoft.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. They make tax write-offs.
and
That's what they make.
agendas.
So imagine
I'm
imagine
sorry.
the-
I'm sorry.
Someone,
Okay. I'm sorry. Revenant, if you want to rotate, if you got somebody on the waiting list, you can rotate me. I'm good. So I'll wait till you get me back in. Okay.
Oh well, there's no one right now. So
Oh,
you're-
Yeah,
you're
I mean,
good.
if you can stick around, bro.
Oh, all right.
Yes.
All right. That's cool.
We'll
All
be
right.
good.
So,
Yeah.
who is it?
If anything, I'll just let you know.
Y2? Y2? Were you saying something?
yeah,
it was me.
yeah. So
It was no name.
like
Oh, no name.
imagine
No
this, right?
name.
If you have to deliver the food, right? And it turns out the food was half cooked or not even cooked at all. That's practically like the gaming industry right now. They keep releasing all these half-ass games and all this other stuff, but I don't know, just like damn. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, so if somebody like give you like uncooked food, people will complain about it, right? Nobody want to talk about it or anything like that. People like Domino's defense, like people who love Domino's don't come up with that whole weird shit. But when it comes down to video games, people will defend these bigger companies to the like defend them to the point like these are they are they foreign figures or they like employers. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, as I was saying,
But
so you imagine like
Oh, hold on,
you,
no, what's
you know what I mean? Like
no name get his thoughts in real quick, and then go
Yeah.
back to you.
y'all
my
there?
brain starting.
Ah shit. I think my headphones is dying. Just give me a second.
Okay. Yeah. So like what they released Star Wars. They released not Sea of Thieves. Skull and Bones, and
Yeah.
they're going to release Assassin's Creed Boys and
Shadows.
yeah, Shadows. That's it. Yeah,
Boys
yeah,
in
yeah.
the Hood.
Assassin's Creed Boys in the Hood. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
I was gonna say it, but then I'm like, no, wait. Is that the name of the movie?
Or more realistically, Assassin's Creed Boys Night Out.
AC.
Yeah, Boys Night Out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were about to release that as a broken buggy mess. I mean, it's still gonna
Yeah.
release a broken buggy mess anyway, so it doesn't matter when they delay it.
So imagine the state that Beyond Good and Evil 2 was in for them not to want to release it at all.
I mean, I don't mean to cut you off, No Name. Wasn't that yeah, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't Beyond Good and Evil 2 gonna be like a live service game or something?
They had like a bunch of different ideas for it, but I think they did. I think the last word we ever got on it was something live servicey. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been an abomination.
Okay.
It's for the better that never released.
Yeah.
I think
hopefully-
as fans, when we like something, sometimes we have to let it go. It's kind of like what I said with Tekken. It's like you love something, you gotta let it go away.
that is the exact thing I would like, the exact lesson I would give to every single gamer out there. If you love something, let it go,
Let it go.
because it'll never be as good as
Yes.
this again.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
let it go.
and again, like you see, whenever they come out with sequels, it's like they're usually not very good. So it's not like, this is not speculation. This is proven, tried and true history that we've seen.
Yeah.
Where you love something, you love Beyond Good and Evil, you love The Last of Us, you love Arkham, and then you look at what they're doing with all these franchises. It's terrible. So if you really love it, you let it go. They'll learn the lesson, and maybe one day it'll come back and be better than before. But at its current state, they don't deserve your money, and they clearly don't care about you. So why even bother? Why care about them when they don't care about you?
I think when franchises get to like the number 4, I think that only a few of them come good, and the rest of them are just like, yeah, your time is up. Go and make a new IP. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
you're right.
that's the curse of franchises. I was talking earlier about Nightmare on Elm Street being.
Oh
my
yeah,
favorite movie.
isn't that the same thing with Japan? Isn't 4 an unlucky number?
It's
Yes,
it's because the word for 4 is similar to the word death.
Yeah.
So that's why
Right,
it's like,
right.
so but again, like if you're like with movies, you see all the time Nightmare on Elm Street. I love Nightmare on Elm Street, but after the third movie, it became pretty stupid. It got dumb. It's unfortunate that's the case with everything. Halloween, Revenant, you like Halloween. It got kind of wacky, so it's just a thing where at a certain point you have to accept that the thing that you love, it may not be the same anymore, and you have to be willing to walk away. Because if you're not willing to walk away, they're gonna keep shoving it down you. As long as it makes money, they're gonna keep shoving it down your throat.
Yeah, I mean, look at Diablo 4. I mean, like, it's not even about good and evil anymore. It's about the gray area. It's about the area in between, right? It's about
Confused morality.
Yeah, it's about it's a morally gray thing now, and it's like, oh, is that right? Well, I fucking hate it.
Yeah, right. That's exactly my sentiment. Yeah. Oh yeah. Sure, it's ass. Because man, like that's how it goes, right? Like you take this thing, and it's a good thing you brought that up, because a lot of games are doing that now, and a lot of movies where they're trying to blur the lines between good and evil. But I think it's because, and again, this is like me now having like a schizophrenic tinfoil hat moment, but I feel like it's because the actual writers themselves are no longer. They don't know what morality is, because their sense of morality is so weak that they can't write heroic characters anymore.
Exactly.
They're unable to do so because, again, like it hurts their feelings, right? Like it hurts your feelings if, like, look, I'll give you a great example. Like, look at Baraka from Mortal Kombat. Baraka's a ruthless animal, and his entire people are savage monsters, right? Basically.
No. Yeah.
And what they did with the last Mortal Kombat game is they try to make him a sympathetic character. Like, oh, they have this disease. They're impoverished peoples. They're basically treating them like an oppressed minority group. And they're missing the point that they're not meant to be sympathetic. They're meant to be savage animals. They're orcs. They're basically orcs, right? And you've seen that with Lord of the Rings, where now they're trying to make the orcs into sympathetic characters. So I think that they look at one side beating down another side because the other side is evil and they think that it's unfair. But guess what? The bad guys gotta lose. It's like that. Like you see all the time. It's like, oh, this person had a bad upbringing. They had this, and that. But in the end of the day,
Hey, Marty.
hey, what's up, man? But they, they have a bad upbringing, and then they use that as an excuse to justify their crimes or justify the bad things that they do, and that's not how it works.
Yeah, I hate that when this shit happens, especially nowadays.
Yeah,
Like
it's like, guess what? Some people, it's like Spider-Man 3. He said, Venom said, even that movie's, got its issues, but he said a line that I like. He said, I like being evil because it makes him happy. Guess what? In real life, some people are just sadistic. They use that shit to justify what they're doing, but in the end of the day, that's what they are. They're just sadistic.
It's a desperation to erase any kind of traditional kind of like values from just about everything.
Well, look at Superman. Why do you think they have so much trouble with Superman? Because they're trying to write a character that's altruistic, and these people in and of themselves aren't altruistic. They think that they think activism on its own makes you a hero, but that's all it is. It's activism. Activism doesn't make you a hero.
Isn't he like a gay twink now in high school or so?
Well, his son, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And they took Tim Drake.
They couldn't figure out how to ruin him, but they'll make the son gay.
Yeah, they made Tim Drake Robin gay, which is a travesty because he's dated so many women in the comics in the last 30 years.
Yeah, the ladies, man.
Right,
so, and you gotta ruin him.
Yeah, like
Laura Croft.
They made Star-Lord gay because
listen.
Price a Christian.
I just want to say this. Just because something bad happens to you doesn't justify you being a piece of shit. And if that's part of your writing, then it shows that the writer of that thing has no clue what actual heroism and morality is.
But here's the thing about these people. A lot of these people are into Pizzagate stuff.
Yeah, you know that. Yeah, exactly. Yep, I know where you're going.
And they know what they're doing is wrong, but they're trying to justify it, and then all of a sudden they get their hard drives checked, and that's all I gotta say.
Well, I think also there's a thing where they're trying to normalize as much heinous shit as possible, so that so basically they can eventually build up toward like making their horrific crimes normalized. Maybe not right now, but they feel like, hey, if we keep pushing this, if we keep doing this, if we keep pushing Gage, and if we keep pushing this, whatever X thing, defund the police, Wild West, eventually the real horrific things they do, they can just publicly talk about without facing any recourse.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, we can move on to the next topic. Since
I said no.
Yeah.
No.
Rest in peace, Pink Floyd. Prince of Floyd.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Rest in peace, gay Killmonger.
Maybe we can make a statue out of him.
Yeah, the Queen of
Prince of Penis.
So, Call of Duty has its first, specifically Call of Duty Black Ops 6, the one that just came out. I'm assuming it came out, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, I did.
It came out,
I saw the cutscenes. I saw all the cutscenes.
The first character to be freaking non-binary. Yay!
Oh my god! Is that the main character of the story?
Yes.
No, it's one of the characters, right? It's just one of them.
So it's a multiplayer character.
Okay.
Supposed to be non-binary, and her face looked like she got hit with an ugly stick.
Oh, so wait. So Call of Duty has operators now, like specific characters you can choose.
It's more cosmetic, and the factions. But the thing is, you have this character that looks like she got hit by a brick, right? She's not featured in the campaign, which is good. But even the campaign has a asshole in a bra. Okay, so this non-binary character, you're going to be running around. If you've ever played CoD multiplayer,
I have.
Everybody popped up on drugs.
Yeah, I played a bit of it.
It's a mess of just different characters running around acting like they're on fire. Nobody knows who and what is going on. I'm not going to stop and see a character like a non-binary character. So amazing. Get the freak out of here. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Not sorry.
Yeah.
No wonder IGN gave it a 9.
That's why. Yeah, I stay away from these freaking American games these days. Man, they piss me off. And I hope
Russia says hello. Privet, как дела?
yeah, I hope the gaming industry changes in fears. Like, hope it gets better, but we'll see.
I honestly think that what needs to happen for it to get better is that mainstream gaming needs to die, and it has to become like a niche where people that are enthusiasts still engage with it. I think that's what's going to have to save it. So basically, like a lot of the big games fail, but smaller indie games, PC games, they do well enough where they get enough traction where they become bigger and bigger products, franchises, companies, and then they can replace the old game industry. I don't think that it's going to happen within these companies themselves,
Yeah.
unless these games just progressively make less and less money. But the sad thing about investors is that when investors see that things aren't working out, they just go and ruin something else. So to those investors that don't care, they're gonna say, "Oh, well,
Yeah,
gaming's
move on to the
ruined.
next thing.
We had our run. Now on to the next thing. On to whatever it may be." So I think that really
Mhm.
that's not going to save the industry, even if they do really bad on the games. I think that actual alternatives need to be made, and PC gaming needs to be more accessible. I've mentioned it before in the past. I think that there should a person like Elon Musk or someone with like deep pockets that's against woke shit. They should make a console that's basically like it's basically a simplified PC that has access to like things like Steam, whatever drivers or whatever, but it has the simplicity of console use. That way, you get the people that aren't into learning PC specs, you can get them into it via like a pseudo console. That would allow indie devs to have their games accessible to more people as well. But again, I'm thinking like a little bit more like I know it's multi-layered, but I think that something like that would need to happen.
Yeah, it could be
Exactly.
like two versions. You know how Sony has the pro and the regular version, like a regular version for casuals and a pro version where you can rip apart and just make a Frankenstein.
Well, all they have to do is
tinker
make
with
it that what they could do if they really wanted to is make a situation where that let's say this hypothetical console, it has default settings where the console will optimize on itself. Basically, like how we have like AI has been integrated into a lot of things. I'm not really like for AI per se and like creative things, but here's something that AI could be really good with. It can optimize the games for you, or you can for the elitists who really know what they're doing, they can actually optimize themselves. That way, you don't have to run into the problem with PC optimization. But yeah, again, like that will cost a lot of money, but I think it'll be worth it. I think whoever does that will I think that will change the industry for the better. Because who's gonna stop you from downloading and modding your games? Because your console is now a PC, so now you have the freedom of that.
Yeah,
So
hopefully
Finesse this
there's
month.
a console that can play everything. Like for instance, there's this bunch of like dedicated Spanish Sega fans, or what they're trying to do. They're trying to make this one console that can play all the entire Sega consoles from all the way to a Sega Dreamcast, which is called a Super
nice.
Sega. Like this guy, they're working their ass off to ensure that, yeah, for those who don't have a console, especially Sega Dreamcast or Saturn, or you want it for when you're a kid but you don't want them, yeah, well, there you have it. You have this one super console that can play all your entire Sega games over the years, and hopefully it comes to reality. And this 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 would be really really awesome. And that's an idea right there, that yeah, there should be a console that can play everything.
Yeah. Well, again, like if that thing is like think about it this way: if that game is like a PC, you can just download all those games on there because there are a ton of ISOs and emulation of it. Like again, just all it has to do is be an an uh, an um, an accessible PC with just an accessible PC with the simplicity of console controls. That's it.
Yeah.
Any billionaire that does this or millionaire would become super fucking rich. Like this is like I'm talking about printing money. Because what really gatekeeps people out of PC is that again, even if you know what you're doing, you still have to learn how to how to optimize. You still have to learn how to tinker around with things. And for some people, it's not worth the work. Not to mention the cost if you want to have like a really strong PC.
Yeah,
So
and also
Right.
you want to play old games in 4K, like do 3D emulation rendering. It'll make your games look seamlessly beautiful in 4K. You don't want simple upscaling or some stupid AI upscale bullshit.
to be
And
honest,
streaming,
technically Steam can do that right now if they wanted
yeah,
to. But the unfortunate thing is that Steam is a little, Steam has some like dickheads working there. Because Steam is a little bit like woke, as they say. It
Yeah.
is.
yeah.
It
I
is a
mean,
little woke.
And
well,
third thing is that
someone from Steam had said that people don't even own their games anyway. So
Yeah.
that's another
Yeah.
Yeah.
problem.
third
So
thing is that
Um,
not only it should play not only just play all entire consoles, it should play practically everything, especially games that around the world that especially certain Wii games are exclusive in Japanese games, but you're unable to play them in your American.
like region locked, like the region
Yeah,
locks, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
exactly.
I agree with that. I definitely agree, man. Like somebody should.
Yeah.
I think honestly, if anyone were to do it, it would likely have to be somebody like Elon Musk, just because of how expensive the R&D would be. I think printing the console itself, like actually making it and manufacturing it, probably wouldn't be that pricey compared to other endeavors. But I think really when it comes down to it, it's the R&D, because that would have to be like stringently tested in order to work properly.
Yeah,
yeah.
Benjamin, I know that's not new. It's just that a lot of people were reacting to it, about it, and that's my issue with digital games. I mean, well, like digital only or a digital only future, because I want to be able to own what I buy. I don't feel comfortable spending like 60 to 70 or whatever dollars on something, and
just
A
then
rental.
just
A
in
$70 rental.
they can just take
Well,
that down anytime they
and
want.
retroactively edit it. They can
Yeah,
retroactively. They could say they could.
like
I'll give
Square
you an
Enix did with
example.
what Square Enix did with Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah, they can. They
yeah,
can take. They can take Lara. Imagine them going to PS1 in the PS1 days. The devs saying, you know what, Lara's tits are a little too crazy. That doesn't align with our ideology anymore. We're gonna
yeah,
update
yeah,
her tits to be non-existent in the game.
yeah. Wait, real
That's
quick.
literally possible when you don't own your games.
Yeah, didn't they do that to Skullgirls?
Yes, they edited
Yeah,
Yeah, they
Skullgirls.
did.
So
Yep.
again,
Yeah,
if you own a
that was a big thing too.
it was stupid.
the old PS2 games we had, I can boot up God of War on my PS2 right now, and they can never censor the titties in that game because it's on a PS2
Yeah.
disc. They can never change that game has that content in it. If they remaster it and make it digital, they can re-release the game and take it out, or hear complaints and then update it out. So again, that's why you would want to own your games anyway.
Right.
Yeah, speaking of
And
Skullgirls, thank goodness I managed to buy Skullgirls on the PS3.
Yeah.
oh, good for you. That's great.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Yeah.
so that I can just go back and
Get
play it.
the better version.
Right. Back to this subject that's too boring for anybody to focus on, because I can understand, because Call of Duty, another Call of Duty, and we got a
Yeah.
non-binary character. And
Yeah,
here's the other thing.
that character, whatever that thing is, that look inbred.
Inbred.
Like,
Yeah.
like, face,
Yeah,
like,
and doesn't
But
look
just what-
appealing at all. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. There is so much stuff that is released to the public that anybody can go to any website. Just type down tactical gear. They could find so many
Yes.
things, and all of these characters, like most of them, look like something from The Walking Dead. This is supposed to be Call of Duty. This is supposed to be the 90s. Like
Yeah, people were really non-binary in the 90s.
not just that. It's the idea, like these headphones. I got lucky with these headphones. I based these headphones. I put them together, and they're based off the there's a famous photo of a Navy SEAL officer with two mics headset, and it's supposed to be the supposed to be raiding the boats, for pirates or whatever,
Okay.
right? And they could use something like this. They have so much resources that they can use, and there was so much gear available in the 90s, but they make these characters, like I said, they look like The Walking Dead, and like for example, the woman I talked about in the campaign.
Right.
Like, okay, there's this female character that you play, sometimes you play with because you're playing with multiple characters, but she is part of the crew. And they have her doing like the most quote unquote masculine thing, like this one guy that got shot in the leg. Instead of two guys that are in shape carrying this guy that's wounded, guess who's carrying the wounded guy? The woman. She's carrying this guy, full grown man. This is supposed to be quote unquote realistic. And at the same time, she is holding his gun and her gun. And also like scenes when she is around them. Of course, they got like girl boss themes up the wazoo, right? I advise to watch the cutscenes. Don't bother, like buying the game at full price. Just watch the cutscenes, right?
I would never buy Call of Duty at full price. I think people who do that are smoking all kinds of crack.
Right. And yeah,
I feel like it's not even worth it. Like the series is like
garbage.
Does
is
anybody
it really that good anymore?
remember?
Yeah,
Does
the
anybody
series
remember
basically
when Call of
brain dead.
Duty used to be the war was fought by many?
Yes.
Right.
Wasn't it Call of Duty originally created for what? For those who are like history buff and are
Correct.
want to fight?
But they also wanted the authenticity of the military feel, where it had like a real like. It was definitely was like fantastical in some ways with like the plots, like the main threads that they were dealing with. But really, it was more like based on like real tactics. They try to go for like a realistic military feel. Like I used to play Call of Duty. I used to play a shit ton of it, like Modern Warfare 1, 2. I'm talking about the originals, not the remakes. I would play 1, 2, and 3. I would play Black Ops. I played World at War. I think the last game that I really played that I checked out of was Black Ops 2, and I think somebody either gave me what was the one with the futuristic stuff in it?
Advanced Warfare.
Infinite War.
Advanced
Warfare. Advanced Warfare. That
Advanced
was
Warfare was the last one.
Kevin Spacey, right?
Yeah, that was the last one that I actually got and played. And the thing about those games is that they had a semblance of realism to them, and they jumped the shark because it became a money printing machine. It became a franchise, right?
Right.
But the thing about that is that, and going back to what you were saying about the female operators in real life, SEALs are exclusively men for the most part. Why? Because the physical requirements to do it is something that, unfortunately for women, they cannot do. I get that. This is going to be a hot take, and it's not even a hot take; it's reality. Women will never be as strong as men. There are women right now that are on a shit ton of steroids that are weaker than men that are natural.
Right, and here's the other thing. So the first Call of Duty was partly produced by Steven Spielberg. Steven Spielberg is one of those very serious people, because this was around where the Band of Brothers, was on, and the HBO series, and they took that very seriously. Even people that was there can say yes, that's how it looked like, Saving Private Ryan. And now we have Call of Duty that has devolved into this power fantasy trip.
Fortnite
and also the other thing is about Jinpachi's point about the women. So what you're going to see is women are going to be mostly in the support roles, probably something within like the medical camp or translator or some kind of intelligence support. But when it comes to what they call
intelligence officers,
right, and when it comes to something like what they call direct action, going in, setting breach charges, raiding, and all that kind of stuff you do in the game, women are not going to be doing that shit, because that shit, like Jinpachi was saying, is hardcore stuff. Because like around earlier this year, 2 SEALs drowned in a matter of seconds because they didn't have any flotation devices. because
Yes.
that's how
The gear
heavy
was
their
the gear was too
was.
heavy.
So,
Yeah.
yup, in a matter of
About
seconds.
that.
So imagine everyday Stacy joins a military unit and thinks that she can go around and hang with the big boys. She's a goner, because some of those gunfights can last for like days on end. They could
Days.
be,
Yeah.
yep. So
Pinned down.
I
Pinned
don't
down
care. I
somewhere.
don't care. That
And
loose
also,
sleep.
look, I'm gonna give you some anecdotal evidence here of what I'm talking about. I've trained with women that are fighters. That they're fighters. They've beaten the shit out of other women. They're like elite MMA fighters that are women. And you have to understand that, like, for me, when I'm training with them, it feels like I can do whatever I want to them, and they would be unable to stop it. And we're talking like peak female combat athletes. The disparity between men and women when it comes to physical activity is night and day. It just is, and people have to accept that. And I get that it's a video game. Video games are meant to be fun, but I think that to a certain degree, like, it's just kind of more it's kind of more to the point of like what Octo said, where like it became more of a power fantasy than being like a real like military like focused like hardcore game. It's like it's so commercialized and neutered that the act of not having women where they shouldn't be placed within the game offends people. That's how neutered it's been. It has gotten, that they feel the need to course correct for people, even if it's not realistic. So
The original
Um,
premise of Call of Duty was that nobody fights alone, right? It's like no
yes,
man is an island. You're always going to have your 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 squad buddies by your side. And
yes, and look, you have a
uh,
character like Grimm's daughter from Splinter Cell, and she was a very memorable character, and she was a support role. But even then, in what's the game called? Conviction. You know, you can have a female character still capable of handling a gun, who can still like fight and be competent.
They need a gun.
But yeah, like for example, one of my favorite things about Metro, speaking about Metro again, is that in Metro you had Anna, who was the main character's wife. She was a support. They're fighting like bandits. They're in the wasteland, but she was never a hand-to-hand combatant. She was always like a sniper. She would fight at a distance, and I found that to be like pretty like a good way to handle it. Or there's another character named Gul, and she's the same way. She's a sniper. I mean, she had an assault rifle, right? So if you give a woman an assault rifle and you have her against like fighting like bandits and shit like that, or in a situation like Splinter Cell where you have like this woman has a damn Desert Eagle and she's shooting people, it's like it's fine. But I think that when you're trying to say this is a realistic special op unit, and then you have a bunch of women like freaking using CQC on grown men and carrying the bodies, that's when you have to say, all right, like let's get our shit together.
Right, and it's most likely that this character is going to do, like I said, intelligence, sensitive site survey, picking up the, intelligence papers and doing the
Radio
encryption
control
stuff, and also, stuff like also battle damage assessment and stuff like that, CSI kind of stuff. But in terms of her going in and holding some machine gun and stuff like that, I mean, if you ever held a machine gun, I went to one of those little ranges things, and I even have like like 1-to-1 airsoft of a M60. I can't show it because YouTube has this weird thing they can't tell a real one in the face.
You can't promote guns to a certain degree depending on
Right,
what
right.
it is.
Yeah, you can't even show it. But aside from that, I don't want to do that to Revenant. So my thing is, those things, if you ever felt like the real ones and just the recoil and all that jazz, that son of a bitch can kick.
They kick.
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
look, I have a friend that she's a female Marine, and she's trained with assault weapons. Like, it's not unrealistic for a woman to use an assault weapon, but it has to make sense, And like you have then you have the other end of it where you have like a Tomb Raider or like a Bayonetta or somebody like that, where like, all right, you're throwing realism out the window. It's high action, high high I want to say it's fantasy, but it's kind of like it's an adventure. It's Hollywood, then it's like,
extreme escapism.
It's escapism that I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. But if you're telling me that this is an elite unit, military unit, and you have like female operators in there. And I'm not talking about like a Marine or like an army recruit. I'm talking about like a top tier cream of the crop. And she's a female operator. I don't find that realistic at all. It's just totally unbelievable.
Why is anyone
I'm
surprised
gonna hold
that
on real quick.
there's?
I'm gonna
Yeah, go
rotate the
ahead.
panel real quick. I'm gonna switch Y2 viral because Reborn is waiting, so I'll bring him in, and then I'll bring Y2 back on, and I'll rotate the panel again.
Okay.
No, okay.
Hey, what were you saying,
All right,
Nani?
no problem.
Why is anybody surprised by the fact that there's a non-binary character that's coming into CoD when they've kind of already made like Vanguard exists, right?
Yeah.
Which is like one of the most like disgustingly propaganda pieces of shit that I've ever had the misfortune to even glimpse at. What an unmitigating, offensive, fucking disrespectful piece of garbage. I fucking hate that game. And whoever worked on that game, there is a special place in hell for you to burn.
Yeah.
In Minecraft.
That's me with Wolfenstein. Everything that you said.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm. What's up, Reborn?
What's up, Gym Party?
What's up,
Yeah, what's
How's
up,
it going,
bro?
bro?
What's up, Gym Party? You right?
It was good. So before we get to the last topic about our favorite horror games, Reborn, you have any opinion on Dragon Age, the Veilguard, allegedly doing well with pre-orders and
no, they're not doing well.
And certain content creators not being able to get the game early to review because they were very critical. They were critical of the game on their hands-on.
Yeah, guys, I would say this: we always been go on. All right, I would say this, guys: we always been right day long. To be honest, yo, even though Rev and Jim Party know it, how come a shill, even though, of course, you want to buy the damn game, but how come you still just don't know how to at least just drop your license with these companies and start calling it out instead of just buying their garbage? Me or us, we're not gonna like play it because at least
they should be able to, know the game's going to be terrible instead of like trying to still have a relationship with the company.
Exactly. Even Revenant and Jambata, I say for a couple of times, these shows need to stop being like weak as fuck and learn how to at least, stop being relationship with the company and at least try your best to like, say, hey, I just quit. I just want to quit. I want to drop the license and also quit with the DNA and all that type of stuff, and then go full out, telling the truth instead of yourself being censored and all that type of stuff. No, you got to like at least tell about everything about the inside and also everything around the studio at the same time, and also how much like they gone too far with them as propaganda, bro. And right, and I know how much since everybody want to still keep on bragging about this crappy ass game like Call of Duty Black Ops 6. That game is ass, bro. I didn't even play it. I didn't play that game, and they still continue bragging about that type of shit. And also, what is it? No disrespect, y'all. Even though I don't want to like do some hints and all that. But sorry to offend you, Reverend and Unchip Party. But I'll take, for example, Griffin Gaming still buying the game, but don't know how to at least just avoid that type of stuff. Just complete avoid it. Am I right?
I mean, he should avoid it along with other people. I mean, Call of Duty hasn't been good in years. They keep doing dumb shit.
Exactly.
They had what's that? They had like an emblem or some banner you can put on in multiplayer. The map flag.
Yep. And also, what is it with the trans flag and all that type of shit too.
Yeah, all that
And
shit,
also,
the BLM and
yeah, a lot,
whatnot. So
yeah, and we still wanna to milk off of that game.
and
Yo,
it's
come on.
Activision. Fuck Activision. At this point, it's like, come on, fucking sucks.
Exactly, Revenant Midland
Nothing. They
Patch.
haven't put out anything good in years. So
Yeah,
like, what are they selling this game for? Like
yeah,
$70, unless you got Game Pass. Even then, it's like it's not even worth even downloading. So probably play like, are
exactly. And
people
look
just
at
desperate to play a military shooter, no matter what it looks like,
Yes.
no matter the quality?
Yes.
yeah,
Yes. Yes. Everything you
yeah.
said, yes.
Yo, go back
Because
play
it's
the old
because it's
CoD.
content, bro. It's like it plays like Call of Duty and it's content. It's a thing that these people can spend a billion hours on, you know.
Yeah, like
And
Revenant
unfortunately that's
saying
the
corporate
reality of it.
slave.
Yeah, basically,
And
yeah,
Jim
corporate
Patch, like he's
slaves.
saying, or being a corporate
Hmm.
slave too long, bro. I said myself, bro, when they gonna ever learn to be like a damn ass man and at least don't don't buy those type of same broken ass game and the same types of the company give you all time, bro. Learn how to like bail out. Simple.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, Prime.
a lot of people get mad when you try to bring up like someone's morals. Then, but yeah, people have to have some morality when it
Yeah.
comes to this. Like,
Yeah, it's like
if
it's
you
not about
have
my
values,
morals.
you have beliefs, then stick with it instead of just abandoning all that just for some like
Being a
stupid
cuck.
brand loyalty. Yeah, being a
For
cuck
some
and a corporate slave
for a
and
game that
looking
they're
out
gonna
like,
stop playing anyway.
yeah, they're gonna
Then they don't. Yeah, they're
they're
gonna
gonna
spend
stop
the
playing it
next.
by what December or by January, so it's gonna be forgotten about. Like all these other all of them end up being. That's why they release them every year because they're so forgettable.
Yeah,
Exactly,
it's
bro.
basically
So
the
then,
same shit, but just slightly reworked. But again, like, it's nothing
yeah,
wrong with liking something. You can like something, like the shit that you
yeah,
do.
yeah, yeah.
But at the same time, like, you know, don't be a fucking corporate slave. It's okay. It's okay to admit that something is just not good or it's not up to standard. You don't
Yeah,
have to
Yeah,
like the new
exactly.
thing no matter
it's
what.
fine to miss out.
Let
It's fine to
Hmm.
Let's
miss out
go
on
to
these games
touching
because
everything.
a lot of them aren't even that good anyway. So you're not missing out. You're not missing out on much anyway. So
Yeah, right
Yeah,
now,
pretty
guys.
much.
Like I said, I'm glad I'm seeing lots more creators, even though maybe you three instead of like us, Jim Patch and Rev. I think you three can at least start calling the game into industry as well, because I'm seeing a lot of YouTubers calling this type of stuff out, bro. Because this type of shit is getting to the point, it's getting ridiculous and worse at the same time. I'm repetitive too, and I see like a lot of content creators fed up with this type of propaganda, bro. Small YouTubers going out and calling that type of stuff, bro. Like with Dragon Veilguard, sales is gonna be disaster. Always gonna be disaster, and it's gonna be another shutdown. And BioWare gonna be like another studio gonna be closed down as well. So they can't say it's us are the ones to blame. It's themselves. Just like what is
Yeah.
it? Rev and what is it? Rev? Because I think me and also maybe Royce talk about the developers need to learn how to like take accountability instead of keep having those same type of mentally retarded set. Just keep on pushing their thoughts and also their belief down our throats. And I say no, no, no. I'm not into this type of stuff. Learn how to like make games what the audience want and also consumer want. And also, oh yeah, Rev and Jimpachi, and also everyone, if you listen, have you seen the Baldur's Gate 3 dev response to Ubisoft, sales and business go down low, very low? Have you seen that type of situation?
yeah, I've seen what he said, but to me, it's like I don't care what he has to say because he put out a woke game anyway. So fuck him in that studio. So
Yeah, because right
because
now, all
yeah,
right,
what were
go
you
on,
gonna
Rev.
say?
No, go on. You got a good point there because I was gonna say, but you got something to say. But Anyway, I was saying one thing because the funny thing, Rev, have you seen the meltdown of what is it, Ubisoft or whatever dev? Like he went in a complete meltdown saying, "Oh, making game great, like making entertainment great game." It's like they just really want a lot of the things to be uncensored, and also a lot of things gonna be promoted by fascists, and also what is it, bigotry type of shit. You really want us to go there? Oh no, I'm not, like, guys, I'm saying this, like, for this Border Gate 3 dev to like make that developer meltdown twice, it's just so funny for me, bro. So yeah, that guy gonna have a meltdown, and also the decent developer gonna
Yeah.
like act like and spoil, weak ass, crying, brat that don't care about consumers. Then get the fuck out and leave the game industry, bro. Why can't y'all leave the game industry instead of just keep on police and check us at the same time, bro?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Look,
agree.
people are always gonna have like that fear of missing out, and like unfortunately, like I said, you know, people are they're like, to put it bluntly, people are like the lowest common denominator sometimes. They don't think about what they're doing. They just autopilot, live life on autopilot, and a new game comes out, they're gonna be hyped for it no matter what. And this person that's working 9 to 5 at McDonald's, no matter what you tell them, they need that escape. So they need constant games to come out. They need the constant
Drip feed.
yeah, there you go. That's the right word. Drip feed.
Yep.
Yeah,
Drip. The constant refilling of their trough, so that
Mhm.
they don't have to
yeah,
deal with real life. And that's most people. And sadly, that's going to keep them as corporate slaves for the rest of their lives.
I mean,
that's
yeah,
true.
look at me. Look at me. I want to play Metaphor, but I'll just wait till I finally build a PC, and then I can start, playing the game and mod the game.
Mm-hmm.
And as for
Yep.
Silent Hill 2,
Fix,
like I
fix the
can just go,
translation and fix the character,
yeah,
the female characters.
I can just go with my OG Xbox and play Silent Hill 2 and play it
Yep.
there. There's no need for me to buy a fucking remake. And speaking of
Or
Silent Hill
get
2,
get like enhanced edition for PC,
hold
homie.
on.
Hold on, Reborn.
Sorry.
Speaking of Silent Hill 2, don't you know that? Don't you know? What's her name? What's that girl's name? I know.
Angela.
Yeah.
Angela.
Yeah,
Oh,
don't you know Angela
Angela?
was supposed to look like? She was based on Sandra Bullock in this 1995 film, and in the remake, she no longer looks like Sandra Bullock.
She does kind. Now that I think about it, that makes sense. Her facial structure kind of looks like her in the cutscenes of the original one, of the
Yeah,
original Silent Hill 2. I believe it.
Yeah.
What do you mean, Maria?
No, he's talking about Angela.
Okay.
whereas
Okay.
Maria,
Angela.
Maria's based on Christina Aguilera.
That's what it was. I got it mixed up. Yeah.
I see that too now. Now that I think about it, I definitely see that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah. Speaking of which, the OG Xbox version is. Thank goodness it came along with my modded Xbox. That's something. That's at least I have, but it's not the best version. I mean, you want the best version, you gotta go with the PS2 version
Mm-hmm.
that has the immersion. But didn't matter anyway. Otherwise, I'd be scared shitless, dude. Unless I need some guts to play the best
Yeah.
version, because that game is like fucking scary as hell.
Yeah.
It really
Well,
is.
speaking of which,
Oh yeah.
we can get into the last topic about some of our favorite horror games. Reborn, I know, because I'll switch you out for Y2 Viral, and after you give your whatever your favorite horror games may be, you can give your outro because we don't have a lot of time left because of StreamYards. So I'll go with you first, and
Yeah.
then afterwards I'll switch you for Y2 Viral.
Yeah, but Revenant, because can I say this? Because I need to send this for you and Japachi, and I just want to let everybody know. Right now, I'll tell you this. Basically, before I go, right, for you guys, even though you guys call out the industry, right? But there is some YouTubers that at least do the same thing like you. But do you know this guy called Fanting Free Free Tanga plays or not really?
For Tenga,
Yeah, I
yeah,
know.
I heard him.
Yeah, I know
The
Fritz.
stick,
Yeah.
the guy on the
Fritanga.
Yeah,
stick.
Tanga.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
recall it.
So guys, so
I only
guys,
know
let
who
me
it
yeah.
is
say
He
because
this.
streamed.
Revenant
He
showed me him.
streamed with Gundam. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know who you're
So
talking about.
yeah.
All right,
So
go.
Revenant, let me say this on Jinpachi. Basically, he got like a copyright, strike on his channel. Cause what is it? Some guy got offended just because like of a thumbnail, and it's basically him criticizing, you know, like his stupidity as his stupid, comments, and these stupid ass people don't know how to like at least take the criticism. Meanwhile, they always look like leave some stupid ass shit around your comments, bro. But once if you call out for it, they just like gonna play victim mentality card. Like, and even though it shows how much Tanga already exposed, places for fanboys when once they're like shilling for the game and they can't handle it, so they're willing to like maybe take down the channel. Like it's some like weak mindset.
How much time is left on
Am I
StreamYard,
right,
Stinger?
guys?
I
Yeah.
think we got an hour left,
All right. So let's get to the
All right,
last
meaning this
subject.
one.
Yeah. Let's get to
all
the
right.
last subject, and then we'll if we can like try to get through it, and there'll be time people could kind of talk about things that they're doing or things that they're interested in.
Yeah.
Maybe they can like
Okay.
introduce other people to something.
Oh, all right, Red.
Okay, cool.
By the way, I'm gonna go. Even though I did ask you that question, but I think you didn't respond to it.
Oh,
Can you
about
re-ask the
Furtanga.
question?
Is it
Yeah,
about
yeah.
Furtanga?
Some
What
guy.
you were explaining?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So basically,
Well, I'll quickly just say this then. I think it's messed up that people are trying to flag his channel, whether if it's several people who don't like him or like the channel that he had the thumbnail of. Um, I think people try to take advantage of the fucking backwards ass rules that YouTube has, where people can just like flag
Easily
your channel
abusable rules. Yeah, easily
easily
abusable.
abused. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was trying to say.
yeah, exactly.
Do things like that because it really just fucks over people's channels. And for some people, they can just have their channel just like wiped out without, even a moment's notice, depending on the situation. So,
Yeah,
I wish the policies and how everything is structured on YouTube was actually better, where you know
yeah,
people wouldn't have to
exactly.
deal with shit like that because it's if people's using your face that you put on the internet, especially on YouTube or whatever, as a thumbnail, then that's fine because that person is responding to that individual or maybe making reference to them, whatever it may be. So I think that's not like it has nothing to do with like fair use or whatever. So I mean, it
Yeah,
is fair use because that person put it out there. Like if someone used the avatar
yeah,
on my channel on their thumbnail, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna strike your channel, whatever. It's like no, like because that's there. I put it
no,
there. I made it there
it-
for a
yeah,
reason. So
exactly. You made it.
so it makes sense.
Yeah,
And if someone's
exactly.
gonna respond to
Yeah,
me or whatever, or whatever it may be, I'm not gonna, try to strike them down. If anything, I would rather actually respond to them if I feel like it's worth responding to.
exactly. That's it. And remember, guys, everybody here is public figure. No point of coming after something or take down their channel just because you can't even handle the fact like they want to make the response. Just let them make the response, bro. But
Right.
by the way,
So yeah,
thanks for having me,
No problem, man. Always good
and
to have you.
yeah, it was
including
good
you,
having you
Japan.
on again, Reborn.
Yeah, yeah. All
Yeah.
right. See ya.
All right.
See ya.
Yeah,
Peace,
so
everyone.
yeah, about why I brought it out moments ago. Yeah, I could have brought it out on the last stream, but then too bad I didn't show up because I was actually having fun, too much fun on Jade Empire.
Well, before you get to that, let's just get to the final subject of
So,
favorite
yeah.
horror games, and then we'll talk about like things that we're into.
So that's basically it.
Yeah, yeah. But keep the thought, and like we'll get to that. Let's try to like finish up. So that was the question, right? Like favorite horror games.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So if you want, whoever wants can go first on that one.
Guess I'll go first. Yeah, if that's
Yeah,
okay.
for sure. Yeah, man, no problem.
So obviously, Silent Hill 3 is my favorite
Okay.
horror game. Just the perfect mix of the again the sort of the quiet subtlety mixed with a slightly more macabre kind of like it kind of it encouraged you to sort of dig within and find what was there, like rather than in Silent Hill 2 where it was hidden, hidden away for you to sort of to find. Silent Hill 3 is more like see that horrible squirrely thing over there, that looks like flesh but could possibly be something else, or maybe 3 other things. Go and touch it. Yes.
Yeah.
So Silent Hill 3, definitely. Eternal Darkness is my second. I love Eternal Darkness. Darkness.
Oh man, I was about to say that too, but all right, go on.
Eternal Darkness is great. Yeah.
Yeah, Eternal Darkness is great. It was like a step up in presentation, in my opinion. They actually got a really good camera that moved with your character. They did a lot of things right, and the voice cast for it was stellar because it was the Metal Gear Solid guys.
Yeah,
like all
Makes
of them.
sense. Makes sense. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I just love the fact that it is like the best non non Lovecraft kind of game. Like it's like the best Lovecraft game, and it doesn't even have Lovecraft in it, but it still is.
I mean, it's
unashamedly Lovecraft. Yeah.
But advice for those who are looking forward to play Eternal Darkness: if you scared shitless, I advise you guys not to play Eternal Darkness during the night unless you're brave and crazy enough to go deeper into the immersion. So
I never played that before.
I mean, I would say, what? Strap on your crash helmets, get your diapers on, right? Yeah, get your surround sound on, play a no sanity run, and just become a bigger man.
Even better, play it with headphones on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Can
Play it with headphones on.
really absorb that sound.
Oh, maybe much better. Get some audiophile headphones. That will even enhance the atmosphere. By the way.
Yeah, it will. The sanity feature was so good that Nintendo they thingy did it, and they copyrighted it.
They patented it.
Patented it. Yeah, they patented it, and it's only just recently come out of essentially Nintendo's ownership.
That should be kind of legal, right? Now
Wow.
I think about it, that should be illegal.
Yeah, it should
Patenting
be.
certain game mechanics are just not. I just think it should be illegal. Like from the Nemesis system with Shadow, Shadows of War, Shadows of Mordor. Like
Yeah,
that
totally.
that should really be like they have to work around laws with that because that could we're lucky companies aren't abusing that more.
Yeah,
Imagine if they did that with Street Fighter, there'll be no fighting games.
yeah,
Just that genre
exactly.
would not exist.
The whole thing around that is, man, I'm so glad that all these companies aren't taking bigger shits on top of us.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it could be even worse.
But yeah, Nintendo had a patent on it, and just all that time that could have been used to flesh out the system, do different things with the system, improve the system, innovate with the system, all gone because a stupid Japanese company decided that they wanted to patent something
and then do nothing
Do
with it for
nothing.
years,
and
right?
then sit on it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
that Smiling Friends thing, isn't it? It's mine to do with as I please.
Yeah.
You know, with
Yeah,
so
yeah.
with the intellectual property, just sort of sits on it. It's mine to do nothing with. And so yeah,
I
that
haven't
was
seen
very
that in
sad.
forever, by the way. Smiling Friends.
Yeah, Smiling Friends.
That's an old
I
It's
one.
have
kind of
seen
great.
it.
No, I've seen it. I just haven't seen it in forever.
Mhm.
Oh, well,
And
I did watch it. Yeah.
and then the third game, I would say it's a cross between Condemned and Fear.
Ooh, that's a good one. Condemned.
Yeah, I think Condemned gets it. I think it's a better horror
I
game.
want to try that game too.
It's
Fear was the shit on Xbox 360.
It was, but we're talking
Yeah, it
horror.
was. Yeah.
Yeah, Fury
got
is
the
like
second one
Fury
on
is an
Xbox
action
One.
game with a horror feel, with a horror aesthetic, kind of like Resident
Yeah.
Evil 4 is. Resident Evil 4 is an
Mhm.
action game with a horror aesthetic.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just that horror aesthetic happens to be the one horror aesthetic that gets a little bit under my skin. Creepy little, creepy little, not Japanese girls, but might as well be, with the long hair.
Yeah, The Grudge.
Yeah, yeah,
The Ring.
With that, like that noise.
yeah. That insufferable death rattle.
Oh God.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like it used to scare me. Now it'd be like, just show your face so I can blow it off. Like you're getting on my nerves.
I think there's too many. I mean, yeah, like there's so many good horror games. Octo, why don't you go? Why don't you go next? I don't think you got a chance yet.
Okay, I'm gonna make it brief. Fear, of course, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 4, let's see what else we have. No, Resident Evil 3, that's right, 3, I'm sorry, 3. Let's see what else we got
The
here.
remake or the original? You have to specify.
The original,
Yeah.
the original.
Okay.
Resident Evil 4 is an action game.
Yeah, especially the guy with the chainsaw. When you hear that
Oh, yeah.
chainsaw and you're in the village and you don't see anybody, you're looking at your left, you look at your right. Where's the son of a bitch? Rip your freaking head off. That is just chef kiss terror. Because even though it's very action based, that sound just tells you that you are going to die. I don't care how big like the fish monster thing, that was pretty scary. But that son of a bitch with the freaking chainsaw and those two bras with the chainsaw, that there, it's audio terror. Let's see what else we got here. I don't really play too many horror games, and this is gonna be a hot take. I admit it's gonna be a hot take, but I think Metal Gear Solid 2, especially the end, that turned into a horror game because that shit was real. Like,
Interesting.
just the idea of the prediction of how AI treats people and how people interact with each other with the internet.
Well,
like
it's
that's
unintentionally horrific, for sure.
Yeah, that's unintentional horror. And let's see what else we have here. When it comes to horror games, like I said, I don't really play too many of those. I don't really like see a horror game. I mean, of course, we have games like the original Doom as well. That had this jump scare.
That's a horror game. The original Doom and out is a horror game. It's Doom 2 that went like full action.
Yeah. And so like I said, when it comes to horror games, I'm not directly looking for horror games because the whole thing of like jump scares and stuff like that, it's kind of not really my thing. My thing was fighting games, FPS, adventure games, and some RPGs. But when it comes to like horror games, I really don't have too much. I mean, there's like the Castlevania games, but that's not like jump scare horror, but it had monsters and stuff. But aside from that, that's pretty much what I could remember right now in terms of horror. So you can go on to the next person.
Okay.
What about
Marty?
what's his name? Yeah, Marty. There you go.
So I was gonna mention Eternal Darkness, but we're not gonna go all that again because I played it, but will I play it again? Nah, I'm not gonna play it because way too scary, too scary. I mean, I rather be playing like Saints Row 1 and 2 and kill people for fun than get scared the shit out of in Eternal Darkness. So
Really, that fucking scary? I'm definitely gonna do a lot of research on it.
So the other game I played, and this is before I played Eternal Darkness, it was Parasite Eve on the PlayStation 1. So
Ooh.
basically, Parasite Eve, for those on the comments section
I
that
always
haven't
wanted
played,
to play that game.
or anyone, it's basically Final Fantasy VII taking place in the real world, but with a more fucked up, horrifying twist or horrifying take, where basically like, whereas you fight monsters in Final Fantasy, those monsters in the real world they turn out to be innocent animals being turned into freaking mutants or monsters because of Eve. And basically the main protagonist, and Aya Bree, is basically the female version of Cloud. This is long before all lightning came to picture. And of course her police partner is basically just like Barrett. And then the main antagonist is basically the female brunette version of Sephiroth. And other than that game's fun, scary, but also tragic too. Because
Yeah.
I'm not gonna spoil it. Because you want to know more about Parasite Eve, you gotta play the game itself.
Yep.
You
These
have
are pretty
tried
good choices.
second one?
Oh, hell no.
Oh,
I tried to get into that, but yeah, I don't know. I think Parasite Eve is better off as a standalone film or as a standalone video game.
Didn't they do something on PSP with that series, like a sequel? I
Yeah,
could have sworn there
the
was.
third
Uh,
birthday.
Third birthday or third?
Yeah, Third Birthday, I believe it's called. And
Yeah,
then there's the second
yeah,
game, right? Isn't there like a second game as well?
the second game was like
yeah.
it's no longer a Final Fantasy. It's more like a fucking Resident Evil clone. No offense.
Well, it had like a weird like RPG-ness to it. I remember that.
Yeah.
The first
Yeah.
Parasite Eve.
However,
But I kind of I like them both. I kind of don't mind either one.
that's
To be
good
frank.
story.
It does.
However,
It's
the
a great game.
story's good.
I think,
It's just that what
yeah,
turns
I
me
don't
off
think they will
about
bring that.
Resident Evil 2 is that the gameplay itself. It's like it's no longer. It's
It's
no
like it
longer
lost its
like
identity.
exactly.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I like the
Mm.
game, but
And
I understand your perspective on that. I get it. I
Yeah,
get why
it's
you're
fair.
coming from.
and for those people
Yeah,
who are begging for the remake, please don't beg for a remake, especially
Yeah.
nowadays.
A
We don't
remake
want
of it. Yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah,
don't think
we
they
don't want
will
We
bring
already
that
seen
back.
what Square Enix does with remakes, so yeah.
Yeah. I don't think they're gonna bring that back anyway. 'Cause they don't want like have like comparisons to Resident Evil. You know what I mean? Square Enix having Resident Evil comparison. So
if it's a 1-to-1 remake, then fantastic. But I don't think it's gonna happen. I mean, if it's a
I don't think
remake,
so either.
it should be more like
You're not getting a one-to-one remake ever again from any of these games.
I mean,
Mhm.
or in an alternate universe, if a remake
Yeah.
happens, it'll
In
be
a
like
perfect world. In a perfect world.
it'll be exactly like the fighting style would be like Kingdom Hearts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not gonna be like, well, yeah, it's gonna be like Resident Evil. No, it's not gonna be like Resident Evil. Hopefully not. Be more like Kingdom Hearts, but
Mhm.
with faithful characters, faithful designs, especially Aya Bree's opera dress, by the way. hmm and the stories too, like keep it that way, man. But and the music. Speaking of music, is made by the same woman who would eventually make the music of Kingdom Hearts. And Final Fantasy 15. That's what
Oh, I
made
know you're
First Light
talking about.
so unique. Like it's the music, characters, the story, the concept, and of course it takes place. In New York. New York, Christmas 1997,
Hey, shout out to the New Yorkers, right?
and
Yeah.
God, I love Aya Bree. She's so beautiful and sexy.
All right, all right. So I think everybody went right.
Who
Well,
was this
except me,
bomb?
you,
Who was this
and
bomb
Y2
dude?
viral.
Well, so Y2, go ahead, do your thing.
He dropped out, so I have to. Well, I have to wait till he comes back if he can. Oh, his phone died. So if he
All
manages,
right.
if he's able to come back in time, then yeah. So Jim Pachi, you can go before I go.
Yeah. So my favorite. So first off on the list, I would put the Suffering on there.
Ooh.
The Suffering, the Suffering 1 and 2. I love both those games. The second game is way more actiony than the first, but I really love the tone that it has. I'll put Resident Evil 2 on there as well, the original, because I feel like that's like to me like the best Resident Evil game.
Mhm.
Just period. Like the original 2 is like the best balance of Resident Evil in my opinion. Um, I would put remake of Resident Evil 1 on there as well. That game is really good. Silent Hill 2, I'll put on there the original. Dead Space 1, I really liked a lot.
Mm.
It's one of the best. I'm trying to think. I don't like putting Resident Evil 4 on the list, even though it's far from my favorite, just because I just think that's an action game. I think like if people need to come to grips with the fact that's an action game. It's not a horror game.
Yeah.
But but even then, that's not one of my favorites. But I said Dead Space. Let me think.
The original
There's
Dead
so
Space one,
many
right?
of them. Yeah, the original. Yeah, not the gender neutral, uh, big gay one. But Dino Crisis, I love a lot as well.
Mm.
God, I got
Dino,
played
Dino Crisis. Yeah, that game is really good. And you know what? I know that it's, believe it or not, it gives you a different kind of horror because you have to worry about the dinosaurs, right? Like the dinosaurs aren't like they're not shambling zombies. There's no like creep factor. It's just the fact of like the dinosaurs will fuck you up in that game. They'll like maul you, you know. And I really like that game. I'm trying to think what else. Uh, Damn, because I'm drawing blanks now. There was a game called Dementium that I liked as well. I don't know if you guys ever played that. That was a really good horror game. It's called Dementium: The Ward,
I think I've heard of it.
and it was a DS game. I think they ported it onto PC or something like that. But it's really fun. But yeah, but the Suffering is highly underrated. I recommend anybody play that. The second game is really good too, and like I like the tone and vibe, and it kind of has like a cycle. It's actually a little closer to something like Silent Hill 2 in the terms of like the psychological horror, because I don't know if you guys know, but there are like multiple endings in the second game, and they're tied to like the morality choices you make, and some of them. I remember one cool thing was you have two bosses that are like sub bosses in the game, and it changes depending on your moral alignment. So if you're good, I believe you have to fight a slave catcher that was black. He was a black slave catcher or whatever. It was kind of crazy. And then the if you were evil, you had to fight like a pimp. Like it was kind of like an evil pimp apparition. What's it called? Apparition. Like an evil pimp apparition. And it was kind of like it was really creepy. Like I can't do it justice by talking about it, but it's an amazing game. I really liked it a lot. But yeah, I think that's my list basically. And like there are a few others, but if I have to pick my favorites, those are the ones that come to mind.
Just an added note, a little off topic, in terms of the black slave catchers, they were the original ones. That's how they got on the boat. So, in terms of the idea of black slave catchers, it's a known thing. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that game wasn't the thing I liked about that game is that it took place in Baltimore. So it would talk about like basically all the monsters. You know how in Silent Hill the monsters are tied to James's his psychology? Well, in the Suffering, basically the horrors that happened in Baltimore basically create the monsters that you're fighting. So like, the enemies they have like, and even with the first game they represent like demons based off the way people have died. So you have like these guys that throw needles at you, like drug, like poison, like needles with whatever in there, like it's like some kind of like poison or like acid or something, and they're representative of like drug addicts that have died. You have like the people with like knife arms and like blade hands, blade arms. They represent like gang violence and like people dying, from being stabbed. You have enemies that they have like these guns on their back, like these turrets, and they represent like the gun violence in Baltimore. It's a really cool game. Like it touches on those themes, but it doesn't do it in a way that's like necessarily woke. You know, it doesn't preach to you. It just uses that as the backdrop for the monsters you're fighting, and I think that's really cool. It reminds me of Silent Hill in that regard. So it's psychological too.
Nice.
And as far as the slave catcher goes, the slave catcher, yeah, what makes it really messed up is that like he's not like a slave catcher like an African slave catcher. He's like like somebody who was like maybe like a house slave or something, and he has like a shotgun. And he has like these dogs that he sends after you. It's really good. I recommend it to anybody who has access to it.
Right. Oh, I'll give that a look.
Yeah, definitely look it up on YouTube or something. I think at least gameplay or something. I think it might compel you to buy it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll go see if White Suit gets back in time. So out the way, as far as like action horror, X Zone.
Sorry. I forgot one thing. This is gonna be the hot take. Resident Evil 7, I think, is a great horror game, and I really like the tone, vibe, and atmosphere in that game. I'll put on that list too.
I agree. But yeah, X Zone 1 had mentioned the Onimusha games. I would put that on the list. At least 1 and 2, because 3 was way more action and like oriented, and obviously the one after that.
The first 2 games were pretty much action games, right? Like they were basically
yeah, but
action.
it had
like
a
horror
it
aesthetic.
had a horror aesthetic to it. So that's why I'm saying, like, as far as like action horror type of games, then I would put that on there. But like straight up survival horror or just horror, I probably wouldn't put it on there because I look at it more as like an action game. I think a lot of people do as well. But
yeah, that's how I look at it. I look at it as an action game, like kind of like Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
Sort of deal.
Yeah. So on to my actual list. Original Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 1 remake, Resident Evil 2 is another good one. You could put a lot of the older Resident Evil games on there, to be honest. So, but if I had to say like one from the series, I mean, you also had mentioned 7. 7's another really good one. Dead Space
that game's
1.
underrated, kind of. Yeah.
It is. It gets a lot of flack for just because for obvious reasons. It's in first person. You don't play as any existing characters. It seems disconnected from the series and all that. But I don't know. But hold on.
Whatever. Yeah.
Why choose back?
I forgot to mention House of the Dead. I love that shit. That was pretty fun and a lot of jump scares, people throwing axes and shit. That was a good time, man.
While you're at it, you can't forget Area 51, bro.
That too.
I remember that game. Yeah.
I used to go to the arcade just to play that on the gun con. I would go just specifically to play that game. In Time Crisis.
Oh yeah, nothing to do with the horror game, but you gotta say Fable 1 and 2 is unintentionally scary.
Oh, and we can't forget Rainbow Six Vegas too. That's the top of the list.
But yeah, original Silent Hill 2. I probably would put 3, but I didn't play that one yet. I still got to get to that. I'm gonna have to find. I'm not gonna have to get the HD collection in order to play it. Unfortunately,
No,
I know, but the copies online are for insane prices.
Try
the original.
Maybe try an emulation. Maybe.
If I get
you're assuming that this guy plays on PC.
Oh, I mean, that's true. Maybe,
Or does he still have a?
I'll try it out.
I'm kind of glad though that he put RE1 on the list. I'm glad he put RE1 on the list because I kind of had to like pull his arm to play that game. I let him play it on my Vita because I had found out.
Yeah,
I had found out that,
and then
he never finished it. He never finished it on
the original PS1, and then I got around to it on there because I didn't have access to the original one for years. really until like Jinpachi told me, "Oh, I got the original
Well,
on DS."
to be
or
fair,
whatever.
I recommended it multiple times, but he's like, "Oh, I'm playing this game. I'm playing that."
I
game.
know because I was playing
but
other things.
boy, that game is 5 hours, man. Come on.
I'm just saying.
you can beat that
Listen,
game in like one sitting.
You said 5 hours. I say 8.
Okay, that's 8
But
hours,
anyway.
bro. Anyway, the point is you did it. You got around to it.
Yeah. I finally did after all this time.
Yeah, it took you long enough, but yeah.
Yeah, I know. But
we accept accountability here.
Yes, I do. Partially. Anyway, Dead Space 1's original is a good one.
not
what was the
that
other
one
game?
that went away for like 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, yeah. Not that one. What was the other game that came to mind? Oh yeah, Condemned, the first one. The atmosphere in that game is amazing, and just so many good things about it. It's really good. What was the other one? Obscure. I don't know if anyone ever heard of that game. It's on PS2.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I heard
Obscure.
about
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another good one. Shit.
Well, what about
I
Hunting?
played a little bit of Fear 1, but I didn't play enough of it to really form a really an honest opinion about it.
Classic
Think of
Doom.
anything else?
Classic Doom. The classic Doom is it's not underrated. It's a forgotten classic. Never forget the Cockle Demon coming up the stairs at you in the first game.
Oh yeah.
That was true. That was true horror. That was truly the birth of that genre. First person shooter.
I'm trying to think of any other horror games because I'm kind of like with like OC. It's not like my go-to genre to play, but I definitely enjoy them. But like I definitely haven't like played an insane amount of them. I think I already mentioned Resident Evil 7. I guess that's about it as far as what I can remember off the top of my head. So there's still a lot I gotta catch up with. There's another one that came out a few years ago, Tormented Souls. I gotta try out.
Oh
That
yeah,
looks
yeah.
really good.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
another one
I
that's kind of
like
interesting called Remothered, Tormented Fathers. I heard the second one was kind of ass, so yeah. It's supposed to be like a spiritual successor to Clock Tower. So
yeah, I heard about that before. Being a successor to Clock Tower.
yeah, so I guess that would probably be my list. Y2, you're the last one, so
All right. Mine would have to be Resident Evil, the remake and the original. Silent Hill 1. I actually got that on my PS3. Silent Hill
nice.
2.
I forgot to mention the remake of Resident Evil 1. So
Yeah.
You gotta finish
I
that
actually
one
got that
too,
for I actually got that for
Yeah, I
my
know.
Switch, Xbox, and PlayStation. Resident Evil 0. I know a lot of people don't like that one, but I like it.
I'm one of them.
Oh, I have Resident Evil 0, so
Oh, 0? Yeah.
Resident
I
Evil
got
5.
the remake in GameCube, I think, at one point.
All 3 of the original Dead Space. Splatterhouse.
Oh, Splatterhouse, the classic ones, bro. Oh my god, those games, yo, you just
I'm mostly talking
Vietnam
about the
flashback.
one that came out. I'm mostly talking about the one that came out in 2010. I haven't played the old ones yet, but hopefully one day I will.
Well, they're both that
But-
one's good too.
Oh, I know
The
which one
one-
you talk about.
The
Yeah,
remake,
hopefully-
the reboot one was pretty good.
Yeah. I just wish they have like a sequel to it. Yeah, with the mellow songs. It was mad bloody, bro.
It was.
What else? What's that other game?
I recommend one day you go back and play the old game or look at it because that
Yeah.
game had such a beautiful art design behind it. It looks so
Yeah,
unique. What a great game.
Oh yeah. I like the art design to it. What's that? Rules of Moses. Y'all ever heard of that
Rule
one?
of Rose. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That shit's
I
fucking
never played that
expensive
game.
online. I actually
I
wanted to
never
get
played
it, but it's fucking like
Yeah.
I think some people are
I
selling it
played
for like
that.
$1,000, over 500.
Yeah. that shit is mad expensive. Like they were $500. Like
Yeah, that and
this,
Haunting Ground.
yeah, they should re-release those games though. But you know, they ain't gonna do something that cool. You know what I mean? Um, well,
No, they're
well,
not.
Curse. I always want to try Curse I Eve. Yeah. So,
Parasite Eve, yeah, it's a great game.
Dead Island for sure.
Mhm.
I know it falls into the category of action adventure, but sometimes it can get scary. Fair too,
Mhm.
and yeah, that's about it. Oh, if you activate a code on Saints Row 2, you can have like a zombie outbreak.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
forgot, I'm gonna add Parasite Eve to my list too because that was on there, but I just forgot to mention it because we had already talked about it. But the first Parasite Eve, and even the second game too, I like them both quite a bit. And then the third
and
game,
Dino
the third
Crisis,
game, yeah, yeah. Dino
Mm.
Crisis is great, man. I love
Dino,
that game.
and Resident Evil Code Veronica.
Ooh, that's another one.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
and the last two on my list is Revelation 1 and 2.
Oh,
I'm a steal.
Revelations 1's really good.
I'm gonna steal
I
Code
couldn't
Veronica
I
and
couldn't
put it on
get
my
through
list.
2, to be honest.
I'm gonna steal Code Veronica and put it on my list. I like
Yeah,
Outbreak as well. I like honestly, I like most of them. I don't think there's many Resident Evil games that I
I
don't like.
want to
To be
try that
frank.
one too.
It's hard if you play
I
alone,
got
though.
one of them. I think I got one first one. Resident Evil Operation Raccoon. You ever heard of that?
Yeah. I would
I
see that
tried
was
it, but
one.
it was
That's ironically one of the ones that I don't like. Operation
yeah.
Raccoon.
I
I got
tried it
that.
years ago, but I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like playing a third person shooter in a Raccoon Resident Evil theme.
Mm-hmm.
So
Basically.
Wasn't it by the SOCOM
yeah.
team?
So,
It was, yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, and that's my list right there.
Oh, good.
I only
It's a
had
good
3.
list.
I think everyone came up with a good list. So
You reminded me of Code Veronica. That's actually one of my favorite ones. I can't believe I omitted that one.
How about what is a anti-horror game? I'm calling the first one Animal Crossing.
Anti-horror? I mean,
Anti-horror games. The
Tetris.
antithesis.
Tetris.
All right. Well, my anti-horror
But
game.
actually, you can't forget the sheer dread of if those bricks stack up, you die. So I take it back. There's,
For my anti-horror game, I had to go with Costume Quest to stay with the Halloween theme.
you know what's
It's
my
basically
favorite
like
part?
go
Anti-horror?
trick.
Resident Evil 4.
yeah. All right, I got another one. Silent Hill 2 remake.
No, you stole it from me.
I'll do you one better. Dead Rising Remastered.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Man, I bet Silent Hill 2 remake voice acting sucks.
You know what?
It really does, though.
I mean,
Actually, you know what? Dead Rising is a horror game because they don't know what men and women are anymore. So that's pretty scary if you ask me.
She want to be.
Has anyone ever seen Silent Hill Book of Lost Memories?
That's a PSP game, right?
Yes, it's the hack and slash Diablo-esque Silent Hill game.
That's what people want.
Wait,
that is anti-horror.
Yeah.
We've developed the game already, and we just need to make it have some identity. So we'll make it somehow be a Silent Hill game.
Oh, I got one to add to my list. I got another one to add to my list. Just one more. Diablo 1.
To your horror games list?
Yes, Diablo 1 is a good horror game.
Yeah, they used to be scary. I have Diablo 4, and that shit ain't scary at all, especially with the expansion. It's supposed to be dark, but it's just mediocre at best.
It's not about being scary. It's about vibes. It's about atmosphere. That game has it in spades.
So what about BioShock 1?
Well,
if you want atmosphere, There's Singularity. Have you ever played that game? That game has really good.
Oh
atmosphere.
yeah. I
That game's
remember
kind
that
of
game
underrated
too.
too. I actually really like that game.
Oh,
It
wait a
is.
minute, I got another one.
It is.
Siren. For scary game. Siren. You ever
Oh
play that?
yeah. Yeah, I played it. That game is
That
hard
shit
as
was
shit.
fucking. Whoa.
You know what game is a horror
It's
game?
just because the way you control is kind of like
Tekken.
Yeah.
Tekken 1 is a horror game. You ever fought Heihachi?
It's getting caught.
You know how much
Yeah.
you know how much damage he does in that game? That's truly horrifying.
Oh yeah.
Tekken 1 is a horror
Well,
game. You've seen Jin's face. No, have you seen Kazuya's face at the end?
In Tekken 1, that
Oh, yeah,
smile,
yeah.
right? And I like how it plays at the end.
That smiled.
Just like a horror film, it ends with the creepy face smiling.
It does. That's such upbeat music as well. Perfect.
I just killed my father by throwing him off a cliff. Upbeat music and smiling.
Yeet, daddy.
Yeah, speaking of which,
That game is broken. Those games are broken though. Like that's what I'm saying. You guys gotta. I want you guys when you have a chance, just watch like 10 minutes of competitive like play in that game, and you'll be horrified at how competitive that shit is. Because you make a mistake and you die. You lose your entire health bar. In Tekken 1, like you literally can't make a mistake or you die. It's crazy.
I love how broken Smash Brothers Melee is. That shit's hilarious.
Oh yeah. That's when people. That's when they didn't pretend it was a fighting game and acknowledged it as a party game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it turned into like the most competitive like fighting game on the scene, like back in the day.
Yeah.
It was like one of the most competitive because it was so broken.
Yeah, that game was very broken. And Star Fox was like top tier in that game from what I remember too. Rightfully
Yeah.
so. He was
Star
crazy in that
Fox
game.
and his identical twin, Falco.
Falco, yeah. Then they added Wolf to one of the games, but they took him out, right?
Yeah. I mean, he's in Brawl, and
Is
he's
he-
also in
Is he in the
Ultimate as
latest
well.
one? So he's in the latest
Yes.
one. Okay.
Yeah, he's still in Ultimate. Wolf is still in Ultimate.
Yeah.
My favorite character to play in that game is Captain Falcon. Because I'm that guy.
Mine.
I'm the guy that would jump in the opposite direction, do Falcon Punch, and then turn around and catch you slipping. That was me in that game.
Oh, that's one of the first cop out. I mean,
That move's iconic, man. The Falcon Punch.
Yeah.
Come on.
Roy, let's see what else we have here. Link and Mario. Yeah.
My
main to Smash.
my full crew in that game was.
I haven't played those characters in a long time.
It was Captain Falcon, Samus with the suit on, not the Zero suit one. Captain Falcon, Samus, Luigi, and Fox. That was my guys in that game.
My main is Banjo Kazooie, Bayonet, King Deity, and Meta Knight.
That game
Ridley.
got.
Ridley has OP hits. I don't care what anybody say. Ripley is borderline broken.
Ridley,
yeah, from Metroid.
That purple pterodactyl looking
Ridley is named after Ridley Scott, who did Alien, because Metroid is heavily influenced by Alien.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and basically Samus based on Ellen Ripley.
On Ripley, yeah. That game, and the Metroids are obviously the aliens,
Yeah,
but
they basically pull a lot of stuff from there from Alien.
Metroid is my favorite. Metroid is my favorite Nintendo series, personally.
Damn, man, that's crazy because I never have a Metro game in my life.
You know what's my favorite one? You should play it. You should play Metroid Fusion. It's my favorite one. I love that game.
Alright, since I do have a GameCube, right? Hopefully I can get that down the line.
You could get it because it's a Game Boy Advance game, but I know they have the thing on GameCube where you could play Game Boy Advance games. Wasn't there like a thing like that?
Wait, I got that confused with the other Metroid thing.
Metroid
the
Prime.
Metroid game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm of the opinion that the 2D Metroids are better than the Prime games, to be frank.
Yeah, I can't feel that. Wait, didn't they have all those Metroid 2D games on 3DS people? Oh, wait, they shut down the store. Yeah. So I think they got on Switch. Wait, don't they have? Don't you have to like pay like the online bullshit or something like that?
They have like some kind of store that's like kind of like PlayStation. It's like a subscription service, right? Isn't that how Nintendo operates
Yeah,
now? Before they used to just have
yeah,
their virtual store, but now they have like it's like a service you have to pay for, something like that. I could be
yeah.
mistaken, but someone could correct
And
me if they know more. But because I have a Switch, but I never play it. To be
mm-hmm.
frank.
Well, we're gonna be running out of time. Well, running out of stream bucks in about 10 minutes.
So everyone, yeah, let's give our
Yeah.
outros and wrap things up.
Yeah,
No
but don't
name,
worry.
by the way.
I think next week should be all right.
But
Yeah,
no name,
August Style.
definitely let me know if you check that game out, man.
Yeah, we'll do.
You know, because the
Well,
suffering 1 and 2. Just look at them both, and let me know next time we talk. You can let me know what you think.
yeah, we'll do. I'll see if I can hunt them down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Suffering is definitely on my list to get for my Xbox 360 because that's like backwards compatible. So,
Oh yeah.
all right, go ahead.
So and in that game you have a monster form. Like he could transform into this like monster, but it's not pretty. He looks like an abomination. It's really cool. But anyway, let's all do our outros because this time is running out. So Y2, why don't you go first? Then Marty,
All right.
then Octo. Well, actually, yeah. Then Octo. Then I'll go, and then Revenant, I guess.
All right. My name is Y2 Viral. I do videos on video games, walkthroughs, like Hogwarts Legacy, Star Wars Conqueror, WWE 2K24, Saints Row, the first one, not that remake, and many others. I also do music, retro stuff, and shorts on my other channels as well.
Nice. Definitely
Thank you.
check them out.
Oh, wait, my turn, right?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, it's Mari Kusanagi, and thanks for allowing me in again. And shit, I don't know what to say other than yeah, I better keep my mouth shut. Otherwise, they're gonna be taking. Oh, hey, Parasite Eve 1 remake's gonna be a good idea.
Don't give these crackheads any ideas, bro.
Square Enix be like, they want Parasite Eve remake? All right, let's get Namor in here. Stat. Namor,
it's not gonna be
do
like
that Kingdom Hearts thing you like to
Kingdom
do.
Hearts. It's gonna be more like Resident Evil remake. It's gonna be more in line Resident Evil.
They're gonna be like, damn, crack is expensive. What's the next franchise we can milk?
Yeah, right.
Man, I need more remakes. I don't know what kind of remake. We make a remake of a remake. Mm-hmm.
And you know what happens?
That's how the meeting goes.
They're not gonna have Aya Bria dressed up in her iconic black opera dress. They're not gonna do that. They're gonna get rid of that. Because
Over.
It's too
if I made the game, I would add ladders into the remake.
Yeah, if I made it, I would, have an option to have her dress up in that black opera dress throughout the entire game.
Yeah. You're right. I'm joking. But they should definitely stay away from a remake for it. But anyway, yeah.
So
you don't.
Octo, you're next.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Marty, you don't have a channel or anything, right? To plug?
No, I don't.
Okay, cool.
In fact, you guys have a Discord, do you?
No, not yet, not currently.
No, not for the channel or anything.
Yeah.
Damn, you guys don't have Discord? Shit.
I have a personal Discord, but I don't use it. I rarely ever go on there. But maybe in the future we'll consider making one or something like that. Who knows?
Yeah.
Just make it stringent.
Yeah, exactly. So, and if we do it, we'll let everyone know. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, Octo it's actually a no name and then Octo.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so I'm no name. I'm literally so old that I remember owning a Master System back in the day.
Yeah.
We're in the same boat, bro. I remember getting a hand-me-down Atari as a kid because I wasn't good enough
Yeah,
with Sega
I did
Genesis.
too. That's funny. My uncle gave it to me, and my brothers and sister.
I like FPSs. I like FPSs the most, but I also like horror. I like horror games as well. And if you're going to say something about Silent Hill and it's wrong, I will be there.
As you should.
Round
As
one,
you should.
fight.
A valuable soldier.
Thanks for having me on, guys. It's been fun. It's been real nice.
Yeah, it's great having you on again.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so Octo, it's your turn.
Jinpachi a little low.
Octo, you can go next.
All right, so I am OC, aka Octo Commander. I am the founder and owner of the Octomind video game and indie comic company. My first game, Octavio Camacho, is on Steam, and it's also the online free comic is on Webtoons. It's go by the same name, Octavio Camacho, and also there is a new quote unquote episode up on the website. Should be up anytime soon. And aside from that, I do have a YouTube, but I have not posted too much on there. And aside from that, thank you, Revenant and Jinpachi, for another fantastic podcast stream. And everybody else, thank you for your input. And that's going to be for me.
All right.
All right.
Right. Great having you on again, OC.
All right. Thank you.
Always good to have you.
Definitely check him out.
So, yeah, for
Check
sure.
out his game, his web comic, and his YouTube channel. And also he's on
Yeah,
Twitch.
I'm the very comic.
My sentiments exactly. Check him out. It's good
Mhm.
stuff. I'm Jinpachi. I make gaming videos. I stream sometimes. I have a lot of Arkham Knight gameplay, a lot of like Arkham content on there. You know, where I push the limits of the game. I do animation. I have Suicide Squad animation has like 1.6 million views. You guys can check that out. I'm also working on my own series. It's called Augur. Episode 1 is up. Episode 2 is still being worked on. And yeah, it's gonna be pretty good. Really gory, like vigilante stuff. So I'd appreciate anyone checking it out if they have the time. And yeah, that's basically it. You know,
Cool,
I have
cool.
a couple videos that are like somewhat political in terms of like talking about the Suicide Squad. I might do more in the future. But yeah, for sure, check out Augur. That would mean the best way to support me is to check that out and share it. It's an original animated series, and you know that'll be the best way to like help my channel grow and help what I'm trying to do. So,
All right.
and also,
Nice.
I want to say something because we talked about Atari. I remember playing ET as a kid. That horrible ET game, and I actually liked it as a little kid because I didn't know better. And I wanted to mention
I'm
looking for new co-host now.
I wanted to mention that because that game is notoriously bad, and it is bad. But I just remember playing it as like a 3-year-old or whatever. And like
Oh, okay. All right.
But,
So, it's all good then.
but I liked it as a kid.
That came out this day and age. You know what I mean?
That's a game that they could remake for a modern audience, and no one would care. You guys can have that one. But anyway, Revenue, you want to do your outro?
Yes, we only got 2 minutes left. All right, so thank you all for watching the stream, and everyone who commented, who likes the video and all that. Appreciate it, especially the familiar faces and anyone new watching. Appreciate it. As always, thank you for the people on the panel, even Reborn and Royce, Y2 Viral, Marty, Kusanagi. Yeah, I got it right.
Yep.
Oh
yeah.
All right, cool. Great. No Name, OC, and Jinpachi, as always, thanks for coming on and providing your thoughts and opinions on these topics. It's great having you guys on. Yeah, so that's all I got to say. So thanks for everyone for watching, and we're out of here.
All right, peace.
There you go.
Peace.
Hold on, let me say quickly. All right, peace. All right, there we go.
Later.